And Farah. So, yeah, I mean, thank you. And for the audience that's online right now, thank you so much for watching us right now. So, we actually, if you are a fan of Supernatural Confessions, you can hear the songs that's been playing, especially like Gugu Gacha and Miss P. That's us, guilty. So we are gonna be here to do like about maybe 6 songs for y'all. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. If you know the song from the repeated times that they play, right? Especially in at the intro, yeah. So you can sing along with us. If not, you can just dance. If you feel like dancing, don't worry, you can dance. You can dance now. Okay, so this first song that we're gonna do is called The Horror. The Horror is actually a song that one of the mods, actually her name is Lynn, and myself, we wrote this one. So let's start with that, okay? 2, 3, 4. Chasing shadows down dark alley, seeking out the human bodies, looking for heart, looking for a start. Creeping around the crowd you don't see, going about your beats and bliss. I got a head start, I got a head start. One touch, you'll see the horrors that be when the night comes down. Oh, goes down. Oh, you can't stop me. Oh, you can't stop me. Leaving alone, I got my friends, thirsty for all the bloody ends. I won't let you go. No one ever knows. One touch, you'll see the horrors that be when the night comes down. Oh, your hope dies down. Oh, you can't stop me. No, you can't stop me. One touch, you'll see the horrors that be when the night comes down. Oh, your dies down. One touch, you'll see the horrors that'll be when the night comes down. Oh, dies down. Oh, you can't stop me. No, you can't stop me. No, 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 you can't stop me. No, you can't stop me. Thank you. It's called The Horror. Shout out to Lynn, who's watching online right now. Okay, so for this next one, this is the one that is one of my favorite ones because of the reaction from the Supernatural Confessions hosts, because they do the dance and everything. This is actually called Gugu Gacha. And Ian here, my brother and myself, we wrote this song when he was 6 and I was 8 years old. So yeah, so we wrote this song at that point of time. So it's actually pretty cool that now that we are like much older, you know, like maybe 2 years older. So now that much older, we actually are playing this song, our childhood song that we wrote together for you. So enjoy this, okay? All right.
1, 2, 3, go!
Goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha.
Under the trees in the moonlight sky, and Papa walking by.
The distance hear me cry. He come to me with no questions. Hold me, Papa, hug me tight.
Feed me, Mama, make me alright. Don't you know that you're gonna get a prize?
Goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha.
Little did they know that I'm a little demon. Little did they know that I'm the devil's semen. Slowly but surely I'm gonna wash them down.
Goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha, goo goo gacha gacha. I'm gonna wash them down. I'm gonna wash them down. I'm gonna wash them down. I'm gonna wash them down.
Gacha, gacha. Gacha, gacha. Gacha, gacha.
Yeah. So can you imagine a 6 and an 8 years old writing that song? Yes, that's what we are. The horror thing has always been a part of our family thing. Speaking of horror, we're gonna go to a more traditional sound here. So we usually, like, we are horrorbilly. We are called a horrorbilly band, which is actually, what is that, Ian? Like we.
Instead of watching horror movies, you are listening to a song that
It's like a song, a horror movie in a song. So the lyrics is all like, you know, all about like, you know, murders and ghosts and all those kind of stuff.
So
You know, but it's like,
let your imagination run
Yeah.
wild with the song.
yeah, although we look like wild, like you expect like metal, like really heavy stuff. But no, because, you know, it's like that. That's what true crazy people do, right? Just like us. So, so this next one is actually a song that's inspired by the most famous lady in white in this region. Okay, I'm sure you all know, right?
Favorite local artist.
She's
Favorite
the-
local artist.
Yeah, the favorite local artist in white who has crazy hair like mine and really so long.
Always happy and laughing, you know.
Yeah, she's the happiest lady, that's for sure. And of course, in Thailand, they call it Miss P, like P, right? It's a ghost, right? And so we dedicate this song to her. And I'm going to be addressing myself as Miss P right now, and Juno is going to be taking the lead. And so here's Miss P for you. Before morning come with I before morning come with
have done no wrong. Just go away and let me be. My mother and father, they tell me the story. Oh, oh, it's me. Go away, don't disturb me. Oh,
Why you run from me? Am I very scary? I am very sweet, like the smell of frangipani. I will be your friend till the very end. Love and sleep with you, annoy the one that hated you.
oh, Miss B. Go away, don't disturb me. I have done no wrong. Go away and let me be. My mother and father, they tell me the story. Oh, Miss B. Go away, don't disturb me. Don't disturb me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's called Miss P. So I heard some questions about like whether we're on Spotify or whatever, but we are not yet. But we are on Instagram. Catch us. We are Silver Studs. Our IG is, our handle is?
_.
Yes, that's right. So this band is actually formed by Ian, and he will sing his next one. Would you like to share with the audience what this next song is gonna be? Hey, me, I fly already. I miss me. I fly already. Okay, Meet My Desire is next. So Meet My Desire inspired like something by like, you know.
Werewolf.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And the word meat is not M-E-E-T, it's
Yeah.
M-E-A-T.
That's right.
Now you get it, huh? You like to eat meat.
Okay, let's do this again.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
As I wait for the sun goes down, you are the one that I want. Don't you put your face to the ground and lay you down on a goddamn ground. If I show as a knife, cutting through your skin so rough, no time to scream as I leave you clean like a killing machine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your body lying helplessly as I eat your flesh so tenderly. Sometimes I couldn't control myself as I roam around looking for some meat. My teeth are as sharp as a knife, cutting through your skin so rough. You have no As I eat you clean like a killing machine. Your meat is my desire. Your heart is mine forever. Your body I yearn to slaughter. Your soul out to wander. Your meat is my desire. Your heart is mine forever. Your body I yearn to slaughter. Your soul is out to wander. Your meat is my desire. Your heart is mine forever. Your body I yearn to slaughter. Your soul is out to wander.
Give it up for Ian. All right, so this next one is about a serial killer that,
You know, Ghostface,
yeah, Ghostface.
Scream, from
Yeah,
Scream.
yeah, Scream. Yeah, this is like inspired by him. And yes, and so, you know, like it's very difficult when you want to be a serial killer, but your victim keep moving around and all those kind of things, right? So, yeah, so this is a song that's called Keep It Still because, come on, darling, keep it still. So it's easier for them, you know? It's easier for the victim, easier for the serial killer, that kind of thing. So, this one.
You sometimes life, you must make life simple.
Like man lai, right? Like relax, you know, like chill. So keep it still.
Dying already. Yeah.
Die already, what?
Already,
Dying
die.
already, yeah. Come on, chill lah, bro.
Follow the script, man.
All right, keep it still.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go!
I know you're scared and trying to get away. No matter where you go, I will be there to say yeah. Right before you scream, I stab you in your heart.
Ouch!
So you couldn't move and you will lay there. I could hear you say hello.
Hello?
Nobody's here to see the show. Then I will kill you by surprise. You can see my face and you will die. I used to be your broken heart.
Aw.
Now you know I'm here to. Now I'm here to
Kill. Don't you run and keep it
still.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
I know you're scared and trying to get away. No matter where you go, I will be there to stay. Yeah. I your broken heart.
Aww.
Now I am here to keep your mouth shut. Now you know I'm here to kill. Run away and keep it still.
One more time.
I'm here to say hello.
Hello.
Nobody's here to see the show. Then I will kill you by surprise. You can't see my face and you will die. I used to be your broken heart. Now I'm here to keep your mouth shut. Now you know I'm here to kill. So don't run away and keep it still. Sorry about that.
Yes, keep it still. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yes, do follow us on Instagram and also Facebook, I guess, and TikTok, I guess.
See lah, Elsa, you tell them to keep still. See, everybody keep still.
Oh, good, huh? Good job, everybody. Very good. Very nice audience. Very good. Listen to instruction. Okay, of course, we really appreciate that. So, Supernatural Confessions here invited us to play this one, and unfortunately, this is the last song of the night. But it's not the last thing that is happening here, right? Yeah. Obviously, so the night has just begun. You know what I mean? So, but yes, do follow us on Instagram, and especially Instagram because we are mostly active there. And yes, so my name is Elsa Faith, and this is Sufi, and this is Ian, and Juno, and Farah. So thank you so much. Really appreciate your kind attention tonight. Okay. Since we are saying kind things to one another, this one is called Darling, okay? But of course, as usual, as the true blue Silver Studs way, Darling is not really like darling, okay? Although it sounds like a love song, you can play it on your wedding or something, whatever. But yeah, until you actually understand the lyrics. Darling.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think got distracted by the word darling.
Long time people never call me darling.
My brothers, yeah. Okay.
Semula.
All right. I'll do this.
Singapore say Samula.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Darling, hold my hands. Don't you ever let go. Darling, hold my hand. Don't you wanna let go. Gonna be with you all the way. Yes, you are gonna be my baby. Gonna put you to sleep. Come with me, my darling. Come with me, my darling. Oh, I have to go to a wonderful place. Come with me, my darling. Don't you scream and look away. Come with me, my darling. Oh, I have to put you to rest. Come with me, don't you run away. Come with me, my darling. Oh, I have to go to a wonderful place. Come with me, my darling. Don't you scream and look away. Come with me, my darling. Oh, I have to put you to rest. Come with me, don't you run
internet world. Thank you.
Come on, give them one more big round of applause. Very awesome people. They had gigs tonight, but they make it here for you guys. Okay, and thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right.
Guys, see you online.
Go check them out on Instagram, Silver Stars. If you guys do not know, the singer, that's Elsa Fave, if you've been following Supernatural Confessions long enough, she was actually one of our confessors. And of course, most of them have their mask on. You see that guy there with the dreadlocks? That looks like a zombie version of, yeah. Check him out on the 18th of November. That's Juno. He'll be confessing his own experiences as well. So you can see, all of us, we are bonded really over the love of Hantu, and most of us actually have Hantu experiences. I know some of you more than others, like with the third eye and everything. I'm talking to some people here, this side. Yeah. So once again, thank you for coming down tonight. We're going to be swapping from the live set to our Friday Night Live. And also Silver Stars is the band who actually wrote and produced and played the song for Supernatural Confessions, Miss P. I hope you guys like that version, Miss P. All right. How about one more time for them? Miss P. So it's so cool that they have not even released this on Spotify yet, but yet Supernatural Confessions were the first to actually play this, and then we slowly say, hey, I think that one is our official song already. Never pay licensing and all that, no? Just it first. Yeah, so tonight we are having our very first Friday Night live show in front of live audience who are alive, and I will have a multiverse version today where we have Ghost-Mortem Jonathan. We also have Billy. No, not Billy. What's it? Bob. Bill. Sorry, a lot of. It's like Bill's in the house today. From On The Frige, we have a message from Bill's partner, Matt. I get the name right this time, right? Matt. Who's now in Penang, and he dropped us a message at 7 p.m. for all you guys to see. So we're going to play that video shortly as well. Of course, we have our Friday Night Live hosts. Where are they? I have no idea where they are. We have Kim from Kuching, all the way. We have the Apex Predator. JDC, where are you? Make some noise. Oh, there, Mr. Flower shirt. We also have the lady who's living in godforsaken Sembawang. Make some noise for Sonia Khurana in the house. Also, we have very special guests here today. We have invited a few names that you may have seen on, again, Supernatural Confessions, who are here to build us up from God knows, poor quality production to where we are now standing in front of live audience. We have Guru Murali. He's the guy who talked about cleansing of black magic with fire. Go and check that out 2 years ago. We also have Sight Wilson, Dark Arts of Sight Wilson in the house. Yeah, so I think Supernatural Confessions was very blessed to have Sight Wilson before Sight Wilson became Sight Wilson, you know? And then he became Dark Arts, and then also Creep Out. And Jimmy couldn't make it here tonight. I called Jimmy. Jimmy is, is not feeling too well. So shout out to Jimmy if you're watching this from Creep Out as well. Thank you for inviting me on the show. Invited Crow Ghost Adventurers, a lot of other people who made us part of who we are. And just a show of hands, how many of you were here with Supernatural Confessions since 2019? Wow, Well, Ivan first one. That's Ivan, by the way, right? A lot of pride. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, okay, not too bad. 2020 is still early. So just a little bit of taking the time to share this origin story with you guys. Is that okay? Just 5 minutes before I call the rest of the crew in. Also give them some time. All right. So Supernatural Confessions started not in 2019. It started way before that. Started in 2014. Why? Because I had 2 years of harrowing experience dealing with possessions and demons and everything. So I always say, if you have problems with the law, you call the police, you get a lawyer. You have problems with health, science, you go to hospital, you get an MC and take medication. But you have the problem with supernatural, where the do you go? Right? And then I tried Googling for spiritual masters and everything, and bomoinc.com, just looking for help. But there was no way I could find help the way I could in any other things in life. So I wrote a book, and that was for me a closure. One thing led to another. The book became a hit. Library said it was one of the most heavily borrowed books. And then I started meeting spiritual masters, people with supernatural experiences. And before Supernatural Confessions was Supernatural Confessions, I was actually part of this Nocturne Noir, by the way, inside this, but I'll tell you more about that later on. So I was actually part of Singapore Haunted. So most of you might have seen the Golden Mile show or the East Coast show. That's me. I don't look like how I did before. Now I probably, camera put on about 10 pounds, but that's me. And then I started Supernatural Asia together with Eugene Tay, Douglas, Alvin De Cruz, who's been with me forever, with Grace Chai as well. And then we moved on from Supernatural Asia to Supernatural Confessions. It started off with one girl called Jane Franklin, who was invited here, but I think she didn't come here tonight. Jane Franklin was also #1 episode of our Spotify show. She was doing paranormal investigation, and then something happened to her, then she retired early. Right? Then from then on, we have, the team started to grow. We have Grace Chai coming in, moderating the show. And it's not till we meet, probably you know these two names very well, Team O and Eugene Tay, the Baba Bros. Yes, I see a lot of yes. Before we came on a show for a live show, you know what we were doing? We were in Team O's basement. This is pre-COVID days, guys. We were in his basement, right, with 3 cameras. But the first day we filmed, I plugged in the audio jack into the wrong hole. So there was no audio for the whole time. All right? We loved to drink, and then, just again, pre-COVID, Timo and I did live show, and then he says, hey, bro, your quality of podcast, cannot make it lah. And then Timo took over as Spotify anchor, and then you get I think 70 episodes of, hi, my name is Timo, and you're listening to Supernatural Confessions. But Timo is not here with me tonight, but he will be narrating a confession tonight. And E.T. as well, we came in, all of us at Pranakan, Baba Bros, and then one thing led to another. You notice that every 2 years, we kind of reinvent ourselves. And then I was this lonely guy, once again, doing my own show, until I met the man that's the voice of our podcast today. His name is Joachim Then, also known as KKB, or KBB, right? Kuching boy, all the way from Kuching. So how I met Kim, he had the audacity to post up his own show on Supernatural Confessions. I was like, who is this guy? Daring, Then I clicked the video. Then I hear his, and now the hunter of Kuching. I was like, whoa. Oof. So I talked to him, and we had a 1-hour conversation. The next thing I know, he's like, what do you say? Let's come on Friday, try it out first. So if you notice, the Friday in 2020 was they were all very tiny. Right? Yeah? Very tiny, postage stamp size, right? And then, okay, we talk. He was there. He and me, we know we great chemistry. And then I met Sonia Khurana on a Halloween walk. And Sonia Khurana, I said, I run a show called Supernatural Confession, and she tells me, ghosts don't exist. I was like, how dare you? And so I said, okay, come on the show. We talk. You and me, we talk, right? So she came on, and I thought, okay, I got Kim with me, 2-on-1, sure. We'll be convert by the end of the year, But she's slowly converting, guys. But I have hope. We have hope, right? Yeah. And then there's this one guy, all the way from down under. So who invited him? He's like, guys, I'm a fan of the show, by the way. I want to come on the show. But once a month only, Ken? Once a month. Once a month. Huh? Right? He said once a month. But the first time he came on the show, he gave us such an awesome confession. Remember that one? The funeral house one? The one where he went to the funeral house, then there was voices talking. Then the second time he came on the show, there was a cat that went missing. And that was the highlight of his career. Then he joined us and that was it. Till today, we're still waiting for the Bali show, no? Anyway, that is Joseph de Cotta. He says he's going to come on once a month. Then he says, maybe I can do once a fortnight. And then maybe 3 times. And I said, bro, 3 times, must I just come every time? And that's when we have all the 4 of us up there. And it's been, what, almost 2 years. 2 years. How time flies. And now, we are not just looking at you guys as the scrolling name on the side. Like, Ariel has joined the screen. Right? Or Orange Freak has joined. Who the hell is Orange Freak? You know what I mean? Yeah, or I only see Mark Shippo for movie nights out only. So now we get to see all you guys here. How about giving yourself a big round of applause, please? Thank you so much for being part of our monumental, pioneering event. This is the live show. But also, this is the end of our 2022 season finale show. Right? Oh. So next year, we don't know what it's going to be like because for the longest time, we have been working under a restriction of COVID-19. And, you know, I can get these guys there every Friday, but Kim is running his own hosting every Friday. Sonia's running around different parts of the world every time, including Sembawang. Only JDC is a very lonely guy standing there, you know, holding the fort. So I intend to bring in some new faces tomorrow. One of this voice, you may be very familiar with him. It's Jonathan Lim. So he is going to be coming on the show next year. He's also the director, producer, actor, /slinger, /writer for Chestnuts. So if you've not gotten your ticket yet, go get it now, November, okay? Very fast. Now, so without further ado, let's call on the rest of the Friday Night Live crew to start the Friday Night Live show proper. Can we do that? Yeah. I'm going to go chronological order from the youngest to the most Lao Chiao member. The youngest who just joined us a couple of months ago is Bill Adrianto. You'll see him every Wednesday night with Matt on the Fringe. Take your seat, my friend. Where he gets drunk on beer. And then, also, the guy who says, I'm just going to come on once a month, but end up being a very strong pillar of Friday Night Live, JDC Joseph de Cotta, Apex Predator. Mabuk. Right. And right before JDC came on board, we have the skeptic, the super rational. All the way from Zimbabwe, we have Sonia Khurana. By the way, we also have a super rational t-shirt. I don't know who the hell approved that, right? Nonsense, you know.
It was me.
But I would suggest you buy the other one with the black color one.
Go with super rational. Yes. Team super rational.
Team super rational.
All right. Also, we have the man who has been my buddy, my partner for a very long time, putting all the podcasts together. This guy is the person who produced the show every Friday night. All the confessions, he produced. All the voice on Wednesday, he produced. He even did Confessi Seram. This guy, pretty much one-man show, pretty much a lot of content that you see on Supernatural Confessions. Give it up for the tallest man in the room, Joachim Then. And pretty much even longer than Kim is this bearded man who always drink soya bean on show.
Yes.
Only recently did he appear on Friday Night Live. If you have not seen him, I forgive you. You know, he only appears on Tuesday, but there's one time he fell down from a bicycle accident. Bleeding in the hospital. No, bro, I must do show today. Live streaming from a hospital. Which used to be a trend for SC, by the way, not the first one. Second one is Jonathan Lim. All right, and I I will not be able to do this show without or rather, I will not be able to do this show with this kind of high energy and making all my co-hosts like this slurring tonight, is a very important person who have supported Supernatural Confessions before we were what we were today. When we were in 2019 and we only got 20 viewers, he says, I believe in you. But he also requested not to be identified today, in case you guys mob him for drinks. But he is sitting here amongst one of you. He is the founder, creator, / partner of Nocturne Noir. And he has been sponsoring Nocturne Noir to Supernatural Confessions for the last 3 years. So you guys coming in today, trying it for the first time, if you like it, go get it. Because just right here on Supernatural Confessions, if you key in Super 20, if you go Nocturne Noir, NOCTURNE, key in Super 20, you get 20% discount off this bottle of wonderful drink that you will not get this discount anywhere else. And it's only lasting up to end of October. Okay? So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the confessions of tonight? Yeah. And because this is a live show, was there an envelope that was given out? Was there? Did you guys receive any envelope? Not yet. Okay, so, can everyone say hi to Karina? Karina's over there.
Hello.
Karina is doing a very important stuff that I cannot do, and that's administration. Okay? So we're going to give you a blue or red envelope. There's nothing inside. There's no ang pao, no money. What we want you to do is, when we call you guys to tell us how you feel, whether you believe in the shit that the super rational people sell you, or the truth that the Hantu team sells you. Hey, how come the Hantu team? Or the truth that the Hantu team sells you.
I'm sitting on this side. I don't want to get stabbed. I just said that side.
So, blue for Hantu, red for rational. Okay? Feel free to come on up. I'll put a mic here in front, where if you have something to share, an anecdote, something that we have not shared, feel free to take the mic. Okay? We say the show will end at 10, but we may end at 1 a.m. Shane, you okay with that, right? By the way, guys, I just want to give a big thank you to Shane. Shane is that guy right there. Shane, can you stand up, please? Shane helped to set all this up. Cables, lights, mic, camera, everything. And also, for the first time, appearing in public, not on a postage stamp, Alvin De Cruz, who after 3 years of pimping him out is still single. So ladies, okay. Oh, by the way, one more thing. All the mics that we have here today is Audio Technica. So if you think that we sound really good and you want an Audio Technica mic for yourself, we also got a discount for you.
Hey, Eugene, got a problem lah.
Problem? Shane, problem, Shane.
I didn't read the homework.
Test.
Oh no.
Hold on. Wait. I think we should check microphone first.
check.
Microphone.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Can you guys hear us from the microphone, or you guys can hear us here?
No, they hear
Right, they don't hear us.
I don't think it's meant to go to the...
One okay?
Oh yeah, it's meant to go to the stream, is
It's meant to
it?
go to the stream.
Ah, okay. So to the audience at the back, can you guys hear us? Yes, loud and clear, right? Okay.
Audience at home?
Huh?
Wow.
Sonia, it's always Sonia.
Well, if the mic's not working, it's Alvin's fault always.
While you guys doing that, also give one more round of applause to Eugene Tay. He didn't introduce himself. Without Eugene Tay, they won't be here, they won't be us. Okay. All right.
Okay. So we don't need the mic, is it, Shane?
Need for the stream, for the stream. For the stream.
Okay, streamers.
Close up.
Yeah.
In your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 more?
Close enough?
Okay, Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can? Okay.
I don't need. I know my answers already.
Where's my t-shirt?
ASMR.
Bro, how close?
ASMR distance.
Where's my
Okay.
Close. Some more.
Okay, bro. Just pass to them.
Only give her blue. Only give her blue.
Oi.
Just blue lah.
You don't need the red lah.
You didn't have to pick it up lah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's ours.
It's yours.
How does it feel? Is it different tuning from home and watching us live? Do we? I know someone said.
Do this, do this. and it'll
Someone
be-
said last week my skin was good.
I can see you
Is it still the same now?
we can see
Hey.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to start the first confession for tonight. Tonight's confession, they have all been told to me personally by people I've interviewed but do not want to be recorded. And I've amassed quite a number of them. This one, the first one, is called Family Heirloom, and it's narrated by a very old friend of mine and a friend of Supernatural Confessions, one of the very few pioneers who built Supernatural Confessions up together. His name is Team O, ladies and gentlemen. This is confession number 1 from Team O called Family Heirloom. Have a listen.
This is the part.
Alvin, take it away.
Alvin.
We don't have to tell him in chat now.
That's right. Alvin, take it away.
Alvin, take it away.
No sound, no sound.
Restart computer.
Don't. The SC curse.
Eugene, how no joke tonight.
Eh. Alamak.
After.
After. I'm going to YouTube
Well,
not to
while
check.
we wait for that, maybe Kim can.
Tim.
Can do a
Wait. We don't know this for a fact that people want to hear Kim's lousy joke.
No.
You guys want to hear Kim's joke?
No.
That's not so lousy after all. Wait. I think they're just being nice here. Do you guys really want to hear Kim's joke?
No.
Okay.
Don't push it lah. Think okay
Next time
lah.
you say don't want.
We start with a simple one before we go for that lah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a story about a Russian that goes across a country to visit another country, obviously, right? This Russian, he crossed a border, so the border guard was checking up on him lah. So the border guard asked, nationality, sir? And the Russian. Then the border guard asked, occupation? No, this time visiting only. Some people laugh. Don't all laugh.
Okay.
Sonia,
What happened?
we explain to you after the show. Don't worry.
Brain cells.
You don't get it, eh? Don't get it. See, you have to. This side only. Occupation.
After show?
After the show, we explain.
Very hard, this one. Very hard. Are we good to go here? Good to go now.
Bro, I didn't get it. Can you explain it? I didn't get it.
Occupation.
Are you coming? Are you coming to invade the country? Occupation. Then he said, no, visiting this time. Russian.
There's so many
the face.
O's.
See the face.
The super national side, not exactly very astute, you know.
Actually, no one knows.
That is true.
Okay, one dirty joke
Yeah, one
for good times.
Dirty jokes.
Dirty joke.
Remember,
girlfriend there,
Dirty jokes, you lah, Joe.
No, I got no dirty jokes.
Dirty jokes.
I got no dirty jokes. You go lah, bro.
This one cannot. In Singapore, I cannot go back later, no.
No
In Sarawak, I tell at home I can, you know.
Cannot come back
Ella.
again.
So yeah. Can we start the conversation already? No?
You see the cable being rolling out.
Take
Hey,
it
have
away.
you guys got your drinks yet? Where's your drinks?
I have mine. Jesus Christ. I got my beer.
Wow. How?
No,
Go top up first. You got time.
You need one?
Once again, shout out to Nocturne Noir. Thank you very much for sponsoring. Once again, if you
Okay.
guys want to purchase,
Yeah.
it's a great discount. Only to you guys know, it's not on social media.
That's right.
It's not published outside. You cannot flip newspaper and say, hey, Nocturne Noir got discount. Huh?
Yeah.
Not out there, just for you guys, whereby it's Super 20.
Super 20.
Super 20, yeah. So,
So we got a couple of other free stuff to give away today. Zoe, where's Zoe? Zoe in the house. Zoe, come on, stand up.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, Zoe is a tarot reader, and if you have been around long enough, Zoe started her tarot career on Supernatural Confessions as well. She was just trying it out, reading stuff online for people, and then everyone said, "Wow, it's so accurate." And then they started, then she said, "Okay, I will run this as a service for Supernatural Confessions." And it's been almost 3 years. And what's really cool is I tried learning tarot reading from Zoe, and she says I'm 75% accurate. So I'm giving you guys a 25% discount from all my reading, okay? And so we're going to have Zoe, who have very graciously offered to read for 3 people tonight. So 3 of you guys who have put your name on the list, sign up. We'll pick 3 names, and you guys will get... you're on the list, right?
Lucky draw.
Yeah, Mel's on the list. So you might stand a chance to get a reading with Zoe. Also, this little beautiful pouch here of Nocturne Noir. We have 3. I pretty much just strong arm Jason and says, hey, I need 3 bottles. He says, okay. And I'm going to give this out as well to 3 of you guys. Random names, okay? So that's what we're going to have here tonight. So it does pay to come here for live show, lah.
100%.
And now, confession number 1, narrated by Timo, Family Heirloom.
Whoopsie doop.
This
No sound. How? Must be the hand.
Or technical issues. Wow, when he said ghetto, he really meant it.
Yeah.
No, stream got sound. Stream got sound.
No sound. Chua Eileen says no sound.
Oh, Joy Len not here.
That's right.
Rai is asking, no need to buy coffee today.
The family heirloom.
Okay.
Okay, one more time for the top. Ladies and gentlemen, confession number 1 tonight, we have from Team O, Family Heirloom.
The family heirloom. My father was a spiritual man. Not religious, just spiritual. My dad would die at the age of 65. Relatively young to die from a heart attack, considering, he's not the sort to eat unhealthily. His only vice, at least his only vice that I knew of, was smoking. Coroners didn't find anything strange about his death. But it was his actions leading up to the day he died that was weird. He started succession planning a few months prior, and from the things he said, it was almost as if he knew that he was going to go. He made my mom and I promise that we wouldn't try to resuscitate him or bring him to the hospital if we found him unconscious. And he gave us strict instructions that the items in his room must not be moved under any circumstances. Now, at the time, we agreed to everything he said, right? Of course, because he sounded so serious, but also what else could we say? In my family, you just do, you don't question. And there were also a series of other instructions as well, weird ones. One of them involved not bringing anything with the color yellow back home. Now, for a few nights, especially around or just past 1 a.m., we could hear him arguing with someone in his room. It was like he was getting increasingly agitated and aggressive. And when my mom and I, popped our heads in, we would see him sitting in the dark on his bed, facing the cupboard, talking and gesturing. And then one afternoon, he never comes out of his room. The medical examiners estimated that he had passed away about 12 hours before he was found. My dad had also requested not to have any wake or rituals, but my mom went ahead with a Buddhist funeral anyway, with a 1-day wake. I started experiencing my first, supernatural encounter the night of his funeral. There were sounds coming from his room. It was like the shuffling of feet on the floor. It was like my dad was still around, walking with his slippers. I could hear the cupboards opening and closing. And then came the nightmares. Every night without fail. Okay, I would dream that I was running away from something huge. I couldn't tell you what I saw because honestly, I don't remember the vision much. But the feeling I got, it was like I was drowning or I was being dragged under. And my father also appeared in my dreams on some nights, but only half his body could be seen. The bottom is like that of a wooden doll. And in these dreams, he'd try to speak, but no words would come out. And then when I woke up, I would find my room in a mess. There would be items on the table that had been shoved onto the ground. My chair had fallen onto its side and it was on the other side of the room. And then I would find bruises on my back and on my shoulders and on my thighs. I didn't even tell anyone about this. I thought to myself that after some time, everything would just go back to normal. Now, about 10 months later, my mom decided to clear my father's room. And that's when I found out that she had also been having nightmares. Now, by this time, our health was poor, okay? We were feeling exhausted, agitated, having digestion problems, joint pains, and financially we were struggling. Because Dad didn't have any savings or CPF, and both Mom and I had lost our jobs during this time. And nothing was going right. And so Mom thought if she cleared his room, at least we could rent it out and make some cash. Now, what we discovered when we cleared the room was extremely frightening. I mean, we knew he kept spiritual artifacts as a hobby, but we didn't know how deep it went. The stuff we found, right, it was like bone fragments. There were like dried fetus-like things, grotesque-looking masks. And I wouldn't be surprised that the hair that I saw on the mask was made from real human hair. There were also odd-shaped items that were wrapped in yellow and green cloth. But when we opened the cupboard, there was this terrible stench. It permeated the entire room. Okay, now you gotta understand, right? This cupboard is not airtight at all. And if there had been something that smelled that bad inside, we should have been able to smell it a long time before that. Right away, I knew that something was wrong. And so naturally after this incident, we started looking for spiritual help. My mom knew some of the people that my dad had hung out with, and so she gave them a call. And that's when we learned even more secrets that my dad had been hiding. For one, he never really worked in the shipping and traveling line like we thought he was in. His friend said that he always had money on him. He always had cash, and none of them had ever seen him work in almost 20 years of their friendship. And he kept his money in a biscuit tin, and it would always be filled with cash. Secondly, he started having a fear of death. Yeah. He mentioned to his friends that they are waiting for him. But he never gave more details, never said who they were. According to one of the spiritual masters who had volunteered to come to our place to help, there are more than 300 spirits waiting for me to continue taking care of them. If I choose to accept this responsibility, I will be taken care of and money would no longer be an issue. The spiritual master assured us that these spirits, they're not malicious. They just need a home, and, offering them simple prayers and other offerings would be enough. Now, the reason I decided to contact Supernatural Confessions is because I want to know if it's okay for me to take over. But if I choose not to, what can I do to avoid them? Hey, what's up? This is Timo. I just want to say congratulations to the team of Supernatural Confessions for a job well done. E.T. and I were very blessed to have started the journey with Supernatural Confessions a long time ago. And it's just been awesome to see just how far you guys have taken it. So congratulations on another awesome season. And here's to more great seasons ahead. Wow. Peace.
Thank you.
Be careful to hunt through.
Want to give a special mention to everyone who's watching us on YouTube. we have. I thought KK Hing is here tonight.
He
is.
He is.
And he's commenting on online as well.
Yeah, not too
Double
bad. Not
duty.
too bad. Double duty. Imagine Malayans, Serin Tan, VN, Angel of Domestic Bliss, League of Angels Singapore, Orange Freak also here, what? Anna Wong,
That's 2 times the support.
Fusion, and a lot of different names. I won't have to go through right now. But I think someone said, Elaine said, team is sexy as ever. Okay, so we have a clearly supernatural story. I don't know how else we can see this, but let's just, for kicks and giggles, give our very esteemed team Super Rational a chance to, try to give us some sense, or make some sense of this story. So you have heard a story. You guys have heard a story as well. So feel free to chip in later on what you feel would be your take on this. Again, there's no right and wrong. We're not here to debunk. We're not here to prove anything or otherwise. It's really about having an alternative voice because, it's so rich. When you talk about a ghost story, you can find at a table 10 people who disagree on everything. So that's what we are here for. We got 6 of us, and we will give you our point of view. You vote later on which side you think you're leaning towards. Shall I let JDC handle the...
Go first. Okay.
No housekeeping today.
That's
Oh,
right.
no housekeeping.
No homework. No need to do homework.
If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please go to what is it? SC Friday.
www.buymeacoffee.com /
Bro.
That's
I
right.
drank 4
That's
shots.
your
This is my
thing.
5th.
That's right.
So what is it? Buymeacoffee.com / SC Friday Live. Why is no one on their phones?
I was going to say, when he was talking
No
about
one's
the
on their
whiskey,
phone.
there are people that don't drink that stuff. So
That's true. That's
where's
true.
the chai latte, bro?
The chai latte is not there because you're holding a blue envelope. There's a reason.
Okay. Joe, what do you think, Joe? What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think that, okay, first off, you were distracting me, so I couldn't listen to the whole story.
Wow.
So it was
Last time when Beckham missed the penalty in the World Cup, he blamed the field.
Of course.
And he said, exactly
Ground
your...
not even, bro. But, okay, so he was talking about what the noises in the room, okay?
Yeah.
Shuffling sounds and the mother heard it and stuff like that. It's very well known when people pass away, their loved ones actually do hear like sounds like that. I don't know, how many here have got pets? Show of hands, pets. How many here who have pets who have passed away?
Yeah.
How many here have heard their pets after they passed away?
One.
Only one. Shit. There goes my
See?
I have a dog.
Wait, where you gonna go from here?
But it's very okay. So my little dog passed away. I think last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember.
Before the cat.
No, before I got the cat, right? So about 2-3 years ago, and I can still remember now, like hearing the sounds of her clawed feet walking on the ground, but it's not her. You know what I mean? So I think it's quite possible that what this person's listening to or hearing is just sounds that they're interpreting as someone being in the room.
Because they are so used to that sound in the room.
Of
I mean,
course,
it
of
could be
course.
so many different things.
Yeah.
Why am I supporting
so
this?
like-
I didn't see here lah.
This is so strange.
Place me on the other side lah. Let me see
Put
here.
up red.
Hey, hello.
Hey, salah, sorry. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, so I won't comment on the other, like the dreams, right? They're just dreams. Who here doesn't have dreams?
We all have dreams.
We all have dreams, right?
Yes.
And why wouldn't someone have dreams after such a traumatic event?
Yes.
Their loved one has passed away, and they can have nightmares kind of related to that. So I'm gonna have to go for red.
Wow.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
Bill.
I'm
Sorry,
Bad health.
Bad health.
bad health.
just bad health.
Just sick lah. Just sick.
Like I'm sick today. Like I've got like I've been telling everyone I've got tension headaches, right?
No.
You could say, Joe came to Australia to Singapore and the Pontianak didn't like it, that's why he gave him headaches. But it's just like people fall sick for no reason whatsoever. People have cancer, people fall ill. Why couldn't this be something natural?
Or it could just be you did not
Sorry?
want to climb a mountain.
Shifu say.
What does Shifu say?
Wow, so early bring up Shifu already.
Shifu comes so quickly. Okay, Shifu say, when someone die, they die. They go in ground, no come up. If they come up, not them. High level. High level. I am not shitting you. This is how my Sifu used to talk. Like he was nuts. I hope he's not listening. But that exactly how he, and you wouldn't understand what he's saying. You talk about cups, you go, okay, cup circle, Tai Chi circle. Go round and round and round.
Receptacle.
Exactly. Hold chi. Chi very strong. Sifu chi very strong.
High level.
High level.
High level. Bill, don't be intimidated. You need to.
We were subject to all of his Shifu sayings when we were in
Bali.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, one thing that was really creepy, what this guy said and reminded me, was the mask of the human hair. Can you guys remember when we went to
Bali?
Tony's kind of like house?
Yeah.
Right.
Balinese.
Like
Balian.
Yeah. Look,
was in the prayer room.
we didn't find it creepy, but it was creepy. Does it make sense? Doesn't really make sense. Like you didn't go in there and go, oh my god, I want to go out. But it was really, really creepy. Like
You could feel the energy.
you could. There were these two long
Rangda.
Rangda masks,
Yes.
right? And like they looked like a Pontianak covered with a sheet.
Yeah.
That was how, and there were
Oh
stains
my
on
goodness.
it, like blood stains and like
And
brown.
he
Oh,
kept them
it
covered.
was.
He kept them
Yeah.
covered completely.
Yeah, so it wasn't the best.
Photos, it's with us. So after this, if you guys want to look at a photo,
Yeah, we've got
it's
it.
in our phone as
In
well.
fact, I did cut a small trailer, and I was
Yeah, you
wondering
did.
if Elvin wanted to play it.
Not now, lah. Everyone's like, what the
Elvin,
fuck?
blur now. Let me.
Suddenly, shoot like that. No, lah.
Not very smooth, lah.
Yeah. But just a point.
Yeah, typical Grago.
Just a point at the Balian punya story. It's apart from the two rangdas that we saw in the room. Actually, remember when we went outside where he kept a lot of those.
His holy room.
The holy room,
Yeah, the holy
that
room.
was different. Is because when the moment we entered the room, for me, I felt as if immediately somebody pressed on your chest. Immediately,
There
the
was
room,
that
right?
pressure, yes.
The moment you stepped in, you immediately felt the heavy on your chest.
There was a change in
At
atmosphere.
first, I thought probably this guy light up a lot of smokes. That's why, right? A lot of incense. Like, obviously, you're gonna feel heavy, lah, right? Because it's a lot of smoke, ma. You open the door, ma, so the smoke still go out, right? The moment I step in, I take video with Joe inside and whatnot. Then the moment I step out of the room, immediately it got lifted off. So the energy is just different inside the room. So yeah, that is on.
Yeah, because he had
Tony's.
so many different artifacts as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I never had something so big and black close to my mouth before. So, can hear. Can hear. Alvin, don't laugh, huh? No, but okay, so just to give you an idea, have you guys heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren's Haunted Museum? Yeah. This place blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like when I see Ed and Lorraine's kind of like museum, nothing. Yeah. Jonathan, just nothing. But when you go into this place, there's a real sense that there's something there. And when we asked Tony, is there stuff like attached to things? And he goes, yes, there is, but I hold it back.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's stuff that he couldn't even get rid of himself. And he allowed to reside
Yes.
in those places,
And
in his home.
And you've seen, right, that I don't know if you've seen that image that we have of the thing that's going, that looks to the side. Now, the story behind that was this statue was of a squatting man looking forward. And what Tony told us was that the family one day looked at it as the thing was looking to the side and it never turned back. And the family freaked out, gave the thing to Tony. So it was just, there was a lot of stuff in there. But that's what reminded me of that. But I'm still
All right.
dreams lah. Yes.
Okay. Ivan, we're going to move on to the next speaker. Okay. Bill,
Yes.
what do you have for us?
Now,
He's going to give us fringy stuff.
No, start clipping. Start
too
clipping.
much pressure. Okay. So number one, I like to bring to attention that if I was given the choice of free money for my entire life and to take care of ghosts that just needed a basic prayer, how many of you would take that choice?
No?
Oh.
I heard one yes,
Oh.
one no.
One yes, one no.
I see some nodding.
Yes,
Hey
yes,
guys,
yes.
free money taking care of ghosts.
Us
I take it.
in our
Alvin will do a lot of
capitalist
things for
society.
money lah. Alvin, you do a lot of things
Put
for
your hand
money
down,
lah.
Alvin. Put your hand
Wait,
down.
we remember Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson punya story, right?
Yeah.
Yours is not applicable. Okay? No.
So please remember that the tin can was not specified on the size. So it could be the extra large ones or it could be the extra small ones. We do not know.
Bro, apa ni tin can semua?
What are you talking?
What tin can?
You never pay attention to the
different
story.
sizes,
Confession lah.
Disturb me lah, alamak.
confession,
Okay lah,
that's why I
just
got
drink
You
lah.
were the one that disturbed me first. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, excuse me. I never sleep with my ghost bride. We are pure. We are both pure. It is a relationship of convenience. Okay. Cannot say.
Okay,
Now-
so go on.
Now, we talked about it a little bit on the Fringe last week about the Mandela effect and how when we observe and when our own consciousness believes hard enough in something, that it does come into reality. So it could be the case that this grieving person and this grieving family willed their father kind of into fruition, and all his artifacts and all his effigies that may or may not have his significance to him personality were given power by his own by their own belief that when he told them, do not move these things, do not give my body a like a religious burial of any kind, that it gave the effigies power to reflect on our plane of existence. So I don't know what the spiritual, like the results of the cabinet with the really bad smell, because he never explained it to us. But yeah, could be something bad. Could be something bad. Could be something pretty good. I don't know. Maybe a sacrifice here and there. You never know. But with these kinds of things, it's best left as they are, and you really don't want to mess with them. I poke fun of them. I maybe say like, hey, give me a Bomo, let's try it out. But Bomo for Bill is still out there, so please contact me. But really, if your family member tells you, do not move something, do not do something to my body, please adhere to them.
All right. So we have Hantu is real, but be careful what you ask for.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's
Blue.
It's
Blue.
Hantu
it
is
Hantu.
hantu. Be careful what
But
you
be
ask
careful
for.
what you ask for.
Hello, got ear use ah, got ear.
just drink lah,
Got ear use ah.
Stuffed it.
It's not hantu.
No. Okay. We're going to give Miss Sembawang a try. Miss Sembawang, a say in this.
Why am I Miss Sembawang?
Yeah.
Miss Sembawang.
I'm
So-
already be blown away by a super rational experience here. Okay, take it away. Sonia.
I have always said that people deal with grief in many different ways. They remain on our minds. You know, we honor the memory of people in so many different ways. They're going to remain on our minds even after they're gone. So we are going to replay that in our dreams, sometimes in our nightmares.
Correct.
But they will remain on our minds. Now, if we think that death is not a traumatic experience, even the death of or the passing of a pet can be such a painful
have to clap.
event. So, as far as I'm concerned, stories like that, it always brings me back to how we deal with grief. And different people have different ways of dealing with grief. We hear things. We want to remember these people. We want them to come back and visit us. It is always going to be how we deal with the passing of
Can you put the black thing closer to your mouth?
the black thing.
Usually she had a bigger one. It's closer. No need to move so. It comes closer. Microphone lah, Joe.
I said microphone. I didn't say anything else.
Closer.
So, You know, when we hear things, we want to believe that they are visiting us. We aren't ready to cut that tie. So these are the ways that we reach out to them. And that's what I'm going with. They're not ready to move on. And that's how they're dealing with that grief.
I think I
The
agree
spirit
with
not
you.
ready to move on, or the living not ready to move on?
The living. The living not willing
So close, so
to
close.
move on.
Sonia,
You know?
Sonia.
Yeah. What color? What color?
Please bump first, lah. Don't leave me hanging. lah.
Sit here very. I feel like I'm very drawn to this side.
Hey, don't let that influence you, huh?
Hey, only one
It makes
speaker,
sense.
speaker. Excuse me.
Okay. So, because it's about grieving, it's the passing of a loved one, and therefore you'll find any other reason to shoehorn inside just to create sense of that loss.
I'm glad you agree.
Sounds like you agree
no,
with
I
us.
just-
Well done.
I'm
Very
glad
well
I
done,
am
Eugene.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's all for the show.
Eugene, well done, bro.
I'm just summarizing. I'm summarizing, okay? That's my role, anchor host, okay? Now, we have Jonathan. Don't film me, bro. Okay.
Okay, I've always believed that there's a force that we have to deal with which is stronger than anything in the world, which is our human desire to make meaning, right? You know, we can transform any reality
Yes.
into something that makes sense to us because that is how we cope, right? Talk about spirit, talk about life, talk about anything, right?
Yes, that's
Sense.
correct.
Right, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
we need this.
Hey, chill lah.
fundamentally.
Wait.
So what they've been talking about, right? Dealing with grief, making sense of grief. That's one thing. But this story is unique because they have to make sense of more than his death. They have to make sense of his entire life. This man has made himself a myth with all his warnings, and not just before he died, but they knew that he had all this in his cupboard. So the confessor grew up in a home with a certain story in it.
A narrative.
Yeah, right? And he was not given any further information. He's not part of it. So he's always on the outside. And then the father dies, and he's left with no key to open the door. He needs to make sense of both his father's life and death.
Legacies while he's living and dead.
Correct. So he's been living with a psychosis, and now he has to make sense of that psychosis, right? Now, I cannot say that the father didn't experience. I'm saying the son is in a totally different position. Yeah, the father may have had all these things truly happening, or he may have truly believed it all his life. We don't know. But the son definitely is not part of that.
Hair was
Why?
standing.
Why? Because, and this is me approaching it from a narrative perspective. Okay, if this was
which is
about
completely
300 spirits needing to find a new owner, this is not a story of passing on. Number one, your father did not do the job. He did not prepare the son at all. At all. It came to a stranger, a spiritual master, to give him a clue. That is not how you take care of spirits. If the father was so careful, he would have done the most important thing, warn the son, or take it all with him, or something, right? Okay, so that for me is a big missing link. If there's truly something powerful here, it was not taken care of. It feels like the father kept it to himself. That's not the right story.
But it would be interesting to talk about why he would have kept it to himself.
I suspect because it wasn't real enough to pass on. Because if it was real, and I'm saying I want to believe, if he had 300 spirits in that cupboard, he had to pass it on. He had to. He didn't.
Yeah,
Okay?
why? Why not? Then the
Come on.
question becomes why
The
not?
house of Hantu is tumbling down lah. Tonight the house of Hantu is tumbling down lah.
Am I the only one here? Am I the only one here?
Jonathan, I think I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Come, sit down here. Come,
Seriously.
Feel free. Okay, I'm a literature person, okay? So I'm very hooked to that same thing about the hair. Right? What he said, his own words, right? You almost think that the hair was human.
Almost.
That is meaning making in evidence.
Almost.
He wants to think that the hair is human.
He wants to
because-
believe.
Yes, he wants to believe.
He feels the burden of legacy.
Correct. He cannot reject all the things he grew up with, yet he cannot accept it either. So
Hair
he
all
has to make
standing.
meaning.
Oh, I love this.
Alright? So yes, for me, may have been real for the father, was not real for the son.
Thank you very much for Professor John from Argentina.
Jonathan, let go.
Hey, wait. At a point here again, I felt like I'm attending conference. Me and Eugene is just moderator. We have Professor Joe from Australia. Professor Bill from Spain. John from Argentina.
Alvin, next confession, let's go!
Belum, huh?
Belum.
Well, man from Kuching.
Yeah. I think right before the confession, again, not because I didn't do my homework and didn't read the confession that
He
you
didn't
sent
read.
to us.
Burn.
No, he did homework.
I'm the first one going to say, fuck you.
Don't bluff. You told me you didn't read this down.
Okay, but right before this session, there is somebody that is in the room together with us telling us the same thing, whereby she is actually not sure whether she is destined to do medium or those kind of work or not, you know. She, as far as we are concerned, that we do not know whether what is our true calling, right? Your true calling might be a psychologist, but you do not know, right? Actually, you might be a sugar baby. That is your true calling, right? So,
Anyone here single?
Can do both.
Sugar baby.
yeah. But at your
Baby, what is a sugar baby?
at your age, maybe not sugar and but diabetes already lah. So
Not sugar
I'm
baby.
just
Vinegar
saying that we
baby,
do not
vinegar
know
baby.
what is our true calling here, right? So I think maybe in this case the father do not know how to prepare him, because his position might not be the exact same position as the father, right? As in
Two
if
separate
your
people.
general father cannot prepare your son to be a commander in the military, right? Because it's a different position. Yes, I can teach you the basic, but I do not know how to prepare you exactly in that position. So you might be, I know even in this kind of magic or shamanism or medium sense, right? There's a different ranking. Yeah? We have seen a lot of videos. There are people who can summon the armies of heaven to help. There are people who can summon deity to come and help. There are people who can summon just the 牛头马面, right? So it's different ranking. Ma. So it can be this son is just destined to do different things compared to the father. So to the person who actually shared me the earlier confession just now, probably she's also destined to do something else in her life apart from what she's doing at this moment, right? I think this story, regardless. I mean, if we disregard about whatever the sound, how the person deal with grief after the father passed away, I think probably something is happening in that house that has been passed on. Also, coming from a place whereby, for fellow audience that it's with us, if you guys do not know, recently in Sarawak we have a shamanism conference, whereby we have professional coming into Sarawak to actually study shamans, right? So I recently went to their museum, and actually it's mentioned in there, shamanism is actually passed on. It's not taught. It's not actually like, oh, I feel like I want to learn shamanism. Let's go and find a tuition teacher. Cannot. It doesn't work like that. It has to pass
Online
on,
course.
right?
Online course.
Right, online course. Cannot. If you did attend, probably it's not real lah. So
But there is.
yeah.
There is online shamanism courses.
Oh, okay. Maybe now yes lah. Maybe now yes lah. I mean back then lah. So probably could it be that is the case for the confessor? Of course, I'm gonna say it. This is Team Anto, where everybody is already.
But what do you really think?
Oh. I really think tonight is a great night for everybody.
He doesn't buy his own story.
No, he doesn't.
Anybody have any opinions or similar experience that you guys want to share in the house tonight? Anyone? No. Okay, so I'm going to try to chime in here. I mean, a lot of people have really said a lot of things. Where I kind of sense this story, because obviously I spoke to the people involved, and this was confessors that I spoke to personally. I'm leaning towards there is something that went on in the house. When you collect so many of these spiritual items in one place, it creates a confluence of spiritual energy. Now, whether the father or the son or anyone in the house believes what they think is pretty much an after effect or byproduct of a lot of different energy crossroads in happened in the house. Now, the father died, mysterious circumstances. He said age of 65, young, relatively healthy. To me, that's not a red flag. People do tend to die from heart attack in most cases. And
You talk.
but
Bad
what-
lifestyle.
What I felt was when they opened up the cupboard and they found a lot of these things. Now, having had experience inside where when we look at all these artifacts, things tend to emit a certain amount, level of smell, could these spirits that the father left behind, because he's a collector, he's not a practitioner. You know, he knows how to collect it. Oh, kumantong, get. This one, get. Very cool, get. Everything he get, but he doesn't know how to take care. And then now he dies, he just passed on. Because a lot of these spiritual artifacts, there are rules about it that we don't know. They're handing over to the firstborn. You know, if someone die, what happens? There are rules. Regardless whether you know or don't know, the spirit world functions in that way. So I begin to feel that yes, there is a hantu, but like what John said, the son does not know about it. He is no sight, nothing at all. And this guy is not really a practitioner, he's a dabbler, he's a collector. So something has happened in the family. Also with the death and everything, so a lot of things just clicks into place and they feel, oh, death, this, cupboard, therefore, must be the hantu. But what I found very interesting about his comment was, at the very end of it, what is his question? It's not whether it's hantu or not the hantu. What should I do? He's broke, no job. And like what Bill is asking, would you guys here today, given the choice, say yes? Whether the hantu is true or not, would you say yes? Anyone?
Yes or no for the red and blue lah.
Right?
Instead of Team
Again,
Hantu or Team
I don't
National.
care if ghost is real or not in this case, but would you, in this confessor's position, continue taking care of the ghost for money? If you say yes, put up the blue. If you say no, put up the red.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
I'm not willing to.
No is red.
No, red.
No is red.
Yeah.
No is red.
No, you're not
No.
willing.
No is
Come
yes.
on,
Are
don't
you
lie, everyone.
willing
Don't
or
lie,
not
everyone.
willing?
Team
Come on.
Supernatural is all super rational.
No. This
Hey,
I wa-
it's also
okay,
red.
so those with the
Yes,
blue, I want to
yes.
find out why you would do it.
Yeah.
More red. Good.
Why would you continue?
You not, yeah. Could you take the mic over there and just...
Share with us.
Belinda. Hi.
Hi.
You can just unplug.
Yes.
Pass the mic lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alamak.
Stress.
My boss see
We
how.
got a camera here. We got a
Side,
camera here.
side.
It's okay. It's
Profile,
okay.
it's okay.
Belinda. There's a camera here. Yeah, just look at us. Yeah.
Can this one?
Hi, my name is Belinda. So I picked yes is. I picked yes is because after all these things, I believe even if you move on in the afterlife or maybe if you were trapped there, there's no choice, right? You die, right? It is the ultimate thing in life. Nobody can escape from it. And if I were to put myself in that position, if I move on, of course I want to have someone who take care of me, right? Preferably if someone is nice and considerate and responsible. So I agree with what you said just now. The dad didn't do a very good job in passing on the responsibility to the son, right? So if given a choice, I would take over because I feel very sad for all the hantus lah, right? They're just there. They cannot even move. All they can move is their head probably, right? How?
Story.
And this one means what?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Yeah. So if someone offer me like some offerings or some sweet, then I'll be happy lah. Then okay. Then maybe when I mati, then someone take over. Also can.
So, I think Belinda should run a non-profit organization for hunters.
Wow. Wow.
Non-profit for hantus.
After 1,000 years of getting all these merits, you get into a structure and then just turn your head, then no more energy. Already.
That's it.
Stop run out of energy.
John has a response to that.
Yeah. No. Thank you for sharing. No, I agree totally. Right. That I think it's the most important thing about these stories is the empathy behind it. Right. Because you are here for ghost stories, but all ghost stories about the people who get affected. Right. And I think the son is in a bad place. The son is in a bad place, right? Clearly, he and his family are suffering. Whether or not they're suffering because they haven't picked up the duty that they're supposed to take up and they're being punished for some sort or not, I don't know. But if I knew them, and if I knew that this was their dilemma now, I would say go for it. Because there's no reversing the damage already done by the father. You're not going to wake up from this this nightmare that your father has put you in. You might as well believe it all the way, and for their sake, I really pray that there are 300, financially viable spirits in there.
Yes.
Well, man, you make them sound like bang like that, huh?
I would hate that he got scammed by that spiritual master. Because that is also possible, right? To take someone's collection of fears and craft a very tempting story.
I would say it's very probable.
So for his sake, because there's a real person confessing this, I really hope that he'll pick it up and he will make a better go of it than his dad. Right? Correct all his dad's mistakes, then all sides will be happy. But just an interesting question.
Yeah.
They said, he said that they are waiting for him. Remember?
Yeah.
The father mentioned that, right? Is he in the cupboard too?
Ooh.
What does that mean? What does waiting for him mean?
Because the father is, in his dream, is half body, below is the puppet.
Correct.
So is the father also now in the cupboard?
So it's 301 now.
That's a movie.
That is
301.
that is
You're
100,000
producing
more.
it, are
No?
you?
Actually, there's a very interesting topic here because you said that a lot of these things, sometimes we don't know what we believe in, but we just believe in anyway. In the third confession, there was something similar to that, which we will have a live narration. But for now, it's really 9 o'clock. Let's go straight to confession number 2. This one is nicely narrated by Li Chia. If you recognize the person on screen, she's also here tonight. Okay? Li Chia has been one of our very strong confessor, and I like her voice because she uses the same mic as I use at home. But of course, tonight's mic, we sound a lot better because it's all brought to you by Audio Technica. So let's play the second confession. This one is called Many Lovers, One Dead Husband.
Bill, pay attention, Bill. Bill, pay attention, Bill.
This is the reverse. Okay, yeah.
Elvin, take it away.
Play some more. Play.
Hi, this is Lydia. I'm telling story number 2 about the ghost lover and the dead husband. This story is about my aunt, who married an Angmo man and stayed overseas for many years. And she and her husband led a generally pretty easy and happy life together. They seemed to be pretty contented with their marriage and what they had. The only thing they didn't have was children, but fortunately for her, she has many nieces and nephews, and that was good enough for her. My aunt retired when she was around 55 years old, and she decided to move back to Singapore after retirement. Her husband stayed on in the UK and was planning to join her in a couple of years after he finished his business there. My aunt lived by herself in a big landed property in Siglap. I remember spending some nights over at her place, but there was just something that felt off or unwelcoming about that house. Over time, we stopped going over to visit her. Eventually, I think loneliness got the better of her. Within just the span of 2 years, we got the news that her mental state had deteriorated. My aunt told us that her house was haunted, but naturally none of us knew how to react or let alone believe her. Her husband was still overseas at that time. He said he was coming home soon, but not just yet. My mom felt the house was maybe a bit too large for a single elderly lady to live by herself, so she suggested that my aunt move to a smaller condo unit. At first, my aunt was against the idea, saying that she already made some friends in her old house and didn't want to move to a condo. But after much insistence from the rest of her siblings and family, she eventually relented. But then she also told us that she wanted to bring her friends along with her to her new place. The siblings just agreed, thinking that it was the ramblings of an elderly woman slowly going crazy. The first night that my aunt moved, my mom and I stayed over with her in the house to help her out. But we still got that same foreboding feeling in the new home. From the outside of the condo, everything was fine. It was bright and normal. But once you stepped in her house, it felt as if the sunlight just couldn't reach into the rooms. It just felt very dark and oppressive. And there was just a certain heaviness in the air. My mom and I stayed in the spare room when we were there. From where we were at, we could hear our aunt talking to someone in the same room as her. She was also giggling during the conversation. From what we heard, the conversations and sounds, It was as if my aunt was addressing a lover who was in the same room as her. But the thing is, we all knew she was alone in her room. I decided to sit in the living room to watch TV because I was just too disturbed and freaked out to sleep. After a while, I felt like I was being watched. I kept turning over to look behind me, but there wasn't anybody there. There was nothing in the corners of the room either. I'm not the kind of person to believe in ghosts, but at that time it felt so uneasy and spooky. I got up to turn on all of the lights, but even then, the feeling of being watched still persisted. A few months later, we got the unfortunate news that my aunt's husband passed away in the UK. Since her husband's passing, my aunt's condition just got even worse. Her claims of being haunted got more frequent. In the span of only a month, she had fallen down 3 times, and once she had to be admitted to a hospital because she sustained multiple bone fractures from a so-called fall. The family members and I took turns visiting her in the hospital, and that's when I also heard from the rest of the family that I wasn't the only person who thought the house had an odd feeling. As we started speaking up and sharing our own experiences, we began to feel, although a bit reluctantly, that what my aunt was going through was more than just what we thought was a mental issue or condition. We asked around our friends' network for some help, and eventually we found a family friend who does cleansing for people's houses. So let's call this person A. I followed A along to my aunt's house for the cleansing ritual. When A stepped into the house, the first thing she said was, "Wow, very crowded, ah." A started walking around the unit like she was an interested home buyer checking out every room. The next time that A spoke was when she entered my aunt's bedroom. But A wasn't talking to us though. She was addressing someone or something else in the room. "What do you want with this woman?" A asked. There was no answer. "I see. Okay. A then replied. A continued the conversation some more and went about her cleansing. By that time, my mom and I already left the unit. Later on, A told us what she had learned by conversing with the spirits in the unit. So the reason why my aunt had been having such serious falls was because there's a spirit of her ghost lover in the house, and he wanted to claim her for himself. The spirit of her husband was also in the same house, and he was trying to protect her from the ghost lover. A said it was lucky that we intervened as early as we did, because if we had delayed, my aunt might not live past the next month. So the kicker here also is that there's not just one ghost in my aunt's home. My aunt was empathetic towards various homeless spirits, and she opened her doors to lonely spirits taking refuge in her home. She also had relationships with some of these spirits. Although these spirits might not have any malicious intent, the strong yin presence was slowly draining her yang energy or life force. Because of my aunt's injury and mental state, the siblings and her family felt it was better if she had constant care in a nursing home. Her condo unit was put up for rent and she was moved to a nursing home. For some reason, the tenants in the condo never seemed to stay past a year. Some tenants even chose to forgo their deposit just so that they can leave the unit a bit earlier. As for my aunt, she still speaks to unseen people every now and then. But now she says that the spirit of her husband visits her and she doesn't feel as lonely anymore. Supernatural confessions, what do you think? It's really hard for me to wrap my head around this series of events. For me, the easiest way to explain all of this is that my aunt has gone a little crazy from being alone and away from her husband for such a long period of time. But then the other side of me also remembers that uneasiness that I felt in her house and how this was corroborated by other family members as well.
Hey, Eugene, don't look at your phone now. Thank you very much, Licia. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Licia. Actually, she's here. Licia?
Yes, she is.
Licia, stand up, please, Licia.
Come on, Licia.
Hey, you go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, Eugene?
I'm trying to text to people on YouTube.
I was doing
Very
Facebook.
busy. Yeah. And also, Ivan's texting me. Shi Min is texting me. All right. So this confessor is someone who I know. I met her.
Okay.
And I got a confession from her. So tonight's confession is all what I call the declassified confession. These are not people who want to be recorded. These are not people who have anything at all to gain from telling their stories. And I did ask them permission. I said, can I retell your story? They said, can, as long as don't mention my name, don't mention my face, and change some of the details so that no one can identify as me. But the details I change will not affect the story in any other way. All right?
Did you get a chance to speak to the aunt?
I have seen the aunt.
Okay.
I've seen the aunt, right? But I've not gotten up to her and, can you please give me a confession? No. They were in the house. She was acting in a way that, it's very sad. I cannot agree or disagree that immediately from seeing someone in a couple of minutes, confirm it's a hantu. But to hear how she was before, she was a businesswoman, she was in UK, she was living a happy life. Only problem, no kids. That's about it. That may not be a problem for some people, but I guess she was lonely. And to see her now just like muttering to herself in that state, and she's not that old. It's about what, 60-something, maybe? Yeah. So that to me, I felt more sad than anything else. But I have some details. So if the hosts have actually read the story, there were more in the story than in the confession. I think Licia, when you recorded it was about 12 minutes long. I edited it down to 8 minutes, right? So, but the stuff I edited out again, I don't think it will affect the story in any way. But if you need more information, just ask me. Okay. So since we went that side already, okay lah. Bill, you gotta go now.
Bill want to clap.
I could, yeah.
All right, okay. So, again, this is another cautionary
Bill, closer
tale.
to the mic. Put the mic to your mouth.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Another cautionary tale of what happens when you have too many lovers around. So,
How did we get up there?
hey, you were the one that brought it up.
Okay,
you were
let's
the
hear
one
it.
that said I was eligible and I'm looking for people. Come on.
That's true. Okay, go for
Come
it.
on.
You're the one repeating it right now.
Oh. Okay, go Bill.
Statement of intent. So, I find it very interesting that spirits will take a little bit of their human elements with them to the afterlife. So there was one spirit out of all of them that was kind of like the head honcho, kind of like the alpha male.
Yeah.
In a way, that was the head of all the. You could describe him as the apex predator. That that kind of kept all the other spirits in check, but also wanted more from the auntie.
Yeah.
And he was willing to go the extra mile and just push her over the edge and keep pushing and pushing and pushing. We've all had those people in our lives before that just want to keep pushing and pushing and taking and don't know when to stop until you tell them, no, enough is enough. So that's why I feel that this is a real haunting. This is something that is in the house that is taking, could be energy, it could be life force, it could be a myriad of different things from this auntie. And unfortunately, she just has a lot of them, just like the previous confession with the father that was collecting. She felt like, oh, this next spirit can't harm me. The other 10, 20, or 30 didn't harm me. It's all right. I can let another one in. Keep going and going.
Because they are harmless, no malicious intent.
Yes, they're harmless. There's no malicious intent, but they keep taking a little bit every day, every month, every year, and then sooner or later, the entire house of cards collapses, and you get a situation where this wonderful, beautiful, vibrant woman is just not in a very good place. Not in a very good place.
Okay. So spirits are real. Don't let them in your life, no matter how innocent you think they are, because they will eventually fuck up your life due to yin yang.
Yes. Maybe you let one or two. But yeah, okay.
One ghost bride.
One ghost bride, give $50 every month. Okay, no problem.
2 ghostly sex partners is all Bill is telling you to have. No,
Yes.
no more.
Bill, have you found one yet?
Huh?
Have you found one
I
yet?
think I have one. I'm not
Ghost
super
bride.
sure. I think I have one.
When are you going to introduce us to the ghost bride?
Oh, she might be here tonight. I don't
What do
know.
you think? What do you think there's chairs placed there?
Oh,
Is she hot?
oh, you tell me. You tell me.
Can't see.
Did you see? It's a cold spot. Okay. All right. So before we get on to that side, let's hear what the logic is. So is there a paranormal law?
Logic.
Paranormal, yeah, paranormal
I like
law
that.
behind this.
Logic.
Yeah, that's
Logic.
our new term, logic. Okay, I'm always suspicious of a collection of phenomena that then gets interpreted by one spiritual master or one expert, you know, and then everyone goes, oh yeah, because it makes really good sense, and then it ends there, you know. And when the disparity between the experiences or the things they observe and the logic is so far, it's just impressions, right? The sunlight doesn't seem to come in. She fell. She's lost a bit of her clarity, and then boom, you know, bunch of spirits, lovers, blah blah blah. That's a really big jump. It's a really big jump. There's a lot of missing phenomena that should have sort of connected up the dots, you know, if it's really that version, right? Because it is entirely possible that that's true, but based on what this niece felt, not enough. Too big a jump. I feel like maybe there's a bit of an overreach here, you know. So that's one thought, right? The other thing that strikes me is that maybe it's too easy to say depression, okay, but the loneliness and the spiral, right? You know, isolated from her husband, alone in a country that perhaps, you know, she doesn't feel anything for, in a house that's, you know, I don't think, you know, very welcoming, right? You know, it's very easy for us to spiral. Heartbreak, yeah, correct. So it's a combination of a lot of very negative things, right? And we do horrible things to ourselves when left alone, right? So I can totally see her spiraling, you know? And what the story you're hearing is from someone who only visits her occasionally, and from her own experience, less and less as time goes by.
Yeah.
You don't know what she's going through every moment of the day and what's in her mind. And those could be worse than spirits, right?
Loneliness, depression,
Yeah,
mental
so
disorder.
I wouldn't be surprised if without a haunting, you could still have this same spiral. you know.
Okay.
But that said, I do believe that yin-yang does play a part, because spirit or not, energy, right? And it is the yin of the house that allows her to go that way. You know, she's surrounded by those negative things every day. Negative reflects the negative, and then, you know, no one can save
Mirroring,
her.
yeah.
If all the nieces moved in for a couple of weeks, you could tip that balance.
Yeah,
but
all the young
nobody-
energy comes in, right?
Nobody was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very sad story. You know, of
Would
one-
you
Either
say
way,
that the
whether it's
yin
rational or
was
not, it's very sad.
could have been interpreted as a reflection of like the spirits around?
It could be entirely,
Yeah.
right? It could entirely, but it could also, if you take the spiritual element out of it, it's equally valid. Same effect, same power, same impact on us poor, malleable human beings. You know, we are so vulnerable when it comes to these things, right? We can call them ghosts, you can call them energy, you can call them psychosis, you can call them depression. Either way, it hurts us and it kills us.
Jonathan,
Yes.
You know,
are you single?
Hey, cannot bring that up all the time.
be.
Do that
got
tomorrow
keep
night, I'll
ready.
pick you up.
Excuse me, you're married. I'm sure there's plenty of yin energy where you are.
A lot lah.
I can't tell where this Jonathan stand, whether it's the hantu or not. I'm very, somebody I go, aha, and then after I go, oh no, wait a minute. And then, yes,
It is logic, bro.
Logic.
Yeah.
Logic.
Okay, logic.
Hey, but still, you know, having a lot of spiritual lovers counts for something lah. Okay. Kuching boy.
I don't know what to say. Very hard this time.
Come on, you-
Why you pick up confession like that? Cannot just like I saw a Pontianak right in front of my face. Then all the listener cannot explain,
Not at all clear.
They pick like that. John like on the fence. I listen also. I on the fence like.
Oh, yeah, got sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, can I go stand firm lah? Come
That's
on.
the point lah.
Maybe
Must
maybe
stand
the
firm lah,
auntie a
cannot
bit
like that
sick
lah.
lah. Maybe lah.
Come closer, Kim, come
Lonely
closer.
lah.
This
Come
side.
closer, bro.
Depressed lah.
No lah, cannot.
No family members lah. If me, I also got lovers like that also lah. I think. I this time I'm gonna go with. what? I'm gonna go with the auntie is sick.
Sick.
I think the auntie is sick, but I'm gonna put in the
watching you, bro. I'm watching you.
hantu element inside here. I'm gonna put the hantu.
Oh, yep.
The hantu element here is because the auntie is sick, right? The auntie is sick. So let's say the auntie, it's not haunted by all these things.
Okay.
Let's say, let's say. But because she is depressed and she's having all this issue, so it become a very negative vibes inside the house, right?
Yeah.
So because of the very negative vibes, all the negative energy from outside feels like, hey, that's a place to party. Right? Let's go there. Let's go there. So everybody go there. I do not know how many lah. Maybe 300 lah.
No. 301, bro.
301. Oh, no, the father not invited. Father left in the company.
Hey, why is
Have to
today
stay
the
with the
magic
family.
number 300?
300.
Cannot be like 300 hot Greek men. Cannot be lah.
So that 300 went, right? And 300 went.
Oh, lama.
Oh, thank you very much.
Carlos on his knees some more.
Ivan.
I need.
That's Carlos Cole, everybody. The guy who always give me a lot of grief when I have part 1 and part 2 of Confession. And he goes, raw. That's the guy.
We're hoping to see Drunkula tonight.
No. Okay, okay,
Wow,
we'll give
I'm really
props, right?
spoiled tonight.
Shi Min, come on. Shi Min and Carlos, don't mind. Shi Min, my sound.
You have your
Shi Min, don't run away lah, lama.
Okay, I want to give props to, that's Carlos Cole, a.k.a. Daniel, and Shi Min Tan. The camera cannot pick them up. All the drinks that you have been drinking tonight, your first free drink with Nocturne Noir, the beers, the wine, also only Shi Min and Carlos mending the entire bar. And so nice enough for them to just make a highball for us. And highball, this one is a special cranberry juice, lime, and a homemade sugar syrup from Shi Min itself.
And with a lot of love.
And a lot of love.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shi Min. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To Sambong. So, all these spirits, negative vibes, right? And then they're like, hey, let's go there, let's place a party lah.
Yeah.
That's how all these hantu then move in. Then when the nieces and nephew comes, hey, something is wrong with this house. Of course, you fucking left your auntie alone for fucking long. Then after that, you come, hey, something is wrong lah.
Kena scolding for nothing.
You blame yourself lah, blame the hantu. Right.
Blame the family sudah.
No lah, it could be that the hantu just makes it worse lah.
Possibly.
No, the hantu is just there because they felt the attraction lah.
Yeah.
Like attracts like.
Yeah.
Right? It's that whole mirroring thing that we were talking about, John. When I first heard the story, the first thought I had was, she's suffering from dementia. It sounds like being left alone. What am I supposed to do? Oh, fist bump.
Yeah, fist bump,
I
fist
see.
Wow.
But it sounded like this lady in her later years being lonely. It sounds classic dementia. Left alone by her family, with all these thoughts, and then coupled with the fact that that sort of negative energy attracts negative energy as well. So I'm not at all surprised that she was suffering this way.
We looked at one another.
Yes.
And
Okay,
you mouth
The
dementia.
minute the story
You
was...
got a question?
I know are just waiting for me to say it's the... I've had... No, almost. BTMM, Bukit Timah Monkey Man.
Wow.
I do not deny. I've never denied the existence of another realm. Never. But if my first go-to is always logic and science, then it would clearly be dementia, right? But I'm not one person to say that does not exist. Where the negative energy comes from, the universe, so much of it is still unexplained. But my first go-to is, this woman is suffering from dementia. She's suffering from a sickness. And it is a true sickness that a lot of our elderly are suffering from. It in our society right now, it's still being talked about, it's still being dealt with by families. And when I first heard it, I looked at Joe, and Joe and I both mouthed this, and we both said, dementia. Right?
I not in pain. I not in
You're
pain.
not in pain. Joe.
When you speak about energy, right, and I'm looking at Jonathan here, it's a gestalt term to describe environment, mental health, and everything rolled into one, right? So, like, I do agree with you, Sonia. I think it does bear the hallmarks of dementia, the muttering to themselves, the forgetfulness, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But also, like, like you've said everything that I wanted to say, so I'm not gonna go there. But when you talked about when the confessor talked about the environment, when he talked about the house and how one person saw something, and one person felt something, and the other person felt something, a Hantu inclined person might say, "See, evidence." But what I would say is that environment and architecture has a big part to play on how we perceive things. So my brother is a draftsman. I'm studying architecture last semester, and he did an assignment on how architecture can actually influence the way that we think. It can influence the way that we feel, right? Case in point, right? So can you imagine, like, I'm sitting here in front of everyone. I feel quite comfortable, right? Because there's a wall behind me. But imagine if you're in an old house and you're sitting in front of a doorway that goes 100 meters back, and the doorway's to your back. How do you think you're going to feel?
Very comfortable. Very comfortable, Joe.
Bill, go and sit in the fucking car, Bill. Go and sit in the car.
That was what I was going to suggest, Joe. You want to do this? We're going to go to the house. You go in the car with me. You have to drive because I've got no license.
Bro, yeah, I'll pick you up, and we'll pick Jonathan up.
Yep.
And we'll all go for like a threesome date.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would feel very vulnerable with nothing behind me.
Of course.
When you're
of
sitting
course.
alone and all that empty space around you.
Yeah, and it's the psychology of the environment. So this place that they've talked about may be quite dark, in which that the sun kind of rises, like the sun's right on the top, and there's no windows there, and so people go in there and they feel, wow, this is very, very strange. This is like there's light, there's darkness there, there's shadow, and they can perceive things as being a lot more creepy than they actually are. So combined with dementia, combined with environment, I don't see anything.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And like Jonathan's talked about a narrative, right? So, when someone's in this environment and an individual is behaving in a way that they're not used to, because let's face it, right? Mental health is still something that's stigmatized, right? And it's something that we all have here. We all have mental health issues, right? Sometimes our mental health is really low, and sometimes our mental health is very high, right?
Okay, thanks.
So I don't think it's I can't see anything overtly Hantu-ish about this. Like Kim said, if someone says, I walked in the forest and then a Pontianak appeared in front of me, I really
Clear
have nothing
cut.
to freaking say about that, right? Right? But when this individual has talked about mental health state all the time, like was it the aunt? I wasn't paying. I'm actually quite drunk right now, so. I'm just
Joe, you and me both. You and me both.
How's your mental
After
health?
this long, after this long of explanation.
All that shit.
Actually, I'm a bit drunk. Good job, Joe.
Everything's
Good
a
job,
fucking blur
Joe.
right
Here's
now.
the caveat.
job.
All right, and so I'm just going to shut the fuck up and just say it's not the Hantu. It's mental health issues and the
Yes.
environment.
Okay. I want to chip in a bit. Actually, I'm also quite tipsy, but to those listening currently at the moment, and also those at home, especially coming from somebody that have lost a family member. I recently lost my auntie due to cancer, and the few days before she passed away, she actually keep on telling us that she see little kids running around. She was lying in bed, and then after that she keep on saying that, hey, don't play, later you fall down. Hey, don't play, hey, don't climb, later you fall down. And then we will ask her like, what actually happened? Who do you see? He's like, I don't know lah. These kids keep on running, in a very weak state. They keep on running around the room. That she says she don't know these kids. Right? Another auntie, which passed on like many years ago, but she passed on in the hospital. The other auntie is at home. Then the other auntie who passed on in the hospital, right? She'll keep on saying to the husband, and say, honey, you see that ventilator there? do you see a hairy arm coming out from there? She kept on saying this. But she didn't say any other thing but the hairy arm, right? Okay, for me, I felt that probably because they are very sick, right? Then that causes whatever they see might be that. So I wanted to tell everybody here, including those watching at home, if you have senior members at home or people that actually probably they are sick and they need a little bit of your attention, go have a look at them lah. You know, pay them a visit and chill with them. And even if you sit down with your sick auntie and uncle and they tell you about weird stuff like this, you try to make a joke out of it lah. Because they are already sick. Obviously, they are filled with negative energy. Then they are filled the whole room with negative energy. And you are there. You are the normal one. Don't get roped in. But you become the ray of sunshine lah. You put in the positive vibes lah. You know, you tell your auntie lah, the kid funny or not? They funny or not? They're having fun or not? You know, tell jokes, stupid jokes like that lah. Yeah, like hairy arm. What else is hairy, auntie? What else is hairy? Tell me what else is hairy lah. You know, things like that. You put in a lot of some positive vibes into it lah. So something that I always be reminded, which I want to remind you guys. If you can be anything in the world, be kind.
Wow. This message was brought to you by Mental Health, by Sing Health. Is that it? Is that what
I don't know what show we are in today.
Nice. Shout out to my girlfriend who always reminded me of this also. Thank you very much.
Brought to you by Health.
Well brought up.
Okay. All right.
Health Hub SG, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
Yeah. Really lah. Okay, to you, Eugene.
Okay. No,
John.
I wanted to add that's such a beautiful point that you brought up, you know, and I think,
No,
you know, when old people, sick people, people near the end of their life, right? When they are trapped, right? Their consciousness is trapped in their body, in their weakening, in their awareness of what's coming, right? The spirit of their life, right? Their life force, right? And with that, their whole unconsciousness goes into hyperdrive because they want to live. You know, you're sick in a bed, you're on machines, you can't do anything, you can't remember because even memory has failed you. But there's another force in your mind, right? Locked away, the mind that can create worlds. And you go into hyperdrive.
This is very on the fringe. This is
But-
like the Matrix world.
Love
Right.
it.
But what's important about that is, you know, like you said, right? If you hear this, if they share a little bit of that imaginary world that they're trying to hang on to, the children they see, the dead relatives that they think are visiting them, please take their hand. Don't dismiss that. That is them trying to stay alive, trying to connect. They can't connect to the reality you know. That's lost. Please try to connect to the reality they have.
Yeah.
Even if it
I
seems
agree.
There you
ghostly
go.
or weird or strange, reach out.
Yep.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
It's a cry for help.
Don't just sweep it under the
Allow me
carpet
to
and say
bring
it's the
everybody
hunting,
back to the
you know?
topic at hand.
But look,
now.
I really think there's something to what you and Kim have said, right? And, you know, I did a bit of research because I remember reading this in a journal article a very long time ago about the release of what is called DMT, which is the active ingredient in psychedelics, right? And the release of DMT in near-death experiences. And so what I suspect is that when the body goes into like this near-death experience, it's about to die, it releases this chemical that allows the individual to relive like really positive experiences in life. So they might see loved ones, they might see people coming up, and really is them having these hallucinations. Look, that's just a very super rational kind of experience for the explanation for that. I'm not saying that there isn't a supernatural explanation.
When did
but
you sit on the fence?
I'm not sitting on the fence, lah.
I'm going to tear your envelopes up.
I'm gonna chime in here and go like, yes, they can experience very positive like memories and emotions on that substance, but they can also experience extremely negative memories and
100%.
emotions. So it affects a person on both sides. Where if you're depressed, if you're suffering from dementia, it helps you spiral down that whole thing.
Yes.
And
That much faster.
with the added theory of like, hey, elderly people are really clinging to life. They want to relive their heyday and to cling on to whatever sense of world they have. it's not unfeasible to see that some of that is actually maybe leaking in a little bit in what is happening. Maybe in coincidences, but it makes sense to them. And because it makes sense to them, patterns start appearing even to relatives around them.
So it must be the DMT.
It must be drugs, yes.
I'm going with that.
New T-shirt. I mean, if you listen again, right, I always listen to the confessor's voice, right? And that's a beautiful thing about SC. You're not hearing ghost stories. You're hearing testimonies, and a lot of the answer is in the person telling it, right? I'm very obsessed with one of the things she says right at the end, right? She says the easiest thing to think is that my auntie is losing her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the very last line. Yeah.
But if you listen to her entire confession, that is the hardest thing
To accept.
for her to admit. Because if she admits that, then she is guilty of neglect and letting her auntie spiral.
Yep.
She would rather believe in spirits than that she helped her auntie lose her sanity.
Because it's easier.
It's easier.
And it's
It
guilt-free.
lets you off.
It's guilt-free.
Yes.
Wait.
I don't know if you heard about what is called the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, in which language shapes thought.
Okay.
I'll
Language
I minum all the journal articles come out now. Jangan main-main lah.
Wait. Stop. It's a bit heavy really. Let's take a turn back to Hantu.
Come. Your job is to sum it all up.
Okay,
Yeah.
done in this
Sum
one.
it.
No, walao, people this one. Walao. I bring joke.
He's feeling the fear.
Wow,
He's the one that's scary. He's the one feeling the fear.
Hold on, let me drink. Let me drink some Nocturne Noir first.
Eugene, why are you sweating? Huh?
yeah.
So suddenly, wow. You know, I want to tell. Okay, guys, it's a ghost story, huh? Woman, stay alone. See ghosts. Say, come to my house. Okay? Yes. She upset. She depressed. But there's ghosts that she with. Okay? Do not forget it. No one ever mentioned the making love to multiple ghosts. Okay? But. So, end of time, she may be neglected, she may be lonely, she may be depressed, but let us not forget, the house was woo. People came there, sit around, there were shadows moving around, she was talking to people on her own. Maybe she's crazy, but maybe she's not. Right? So,
This requires...
correct.
shadow.
Asking the right question. Who asked that? KK,
No, he
is
said
it?
who saw the shadow. He said who saw the shadow. You think he's
Yeah.
on your side?
The confessor.
That's what.
Confessor said she turned around, she saw the shadow. You should say you saw the shadow. No, I was not there, ma. I was not there.
I already put in the elements just now, ma.
Which one?
The negative energy attracts
Correct.
negative
That is
stuff.
true. Because when we all talk about the paranormal, when you are depressed, when you are sad, when there is some form of negative energy, spirits will come to you. And I asked a spiritual master this before. Hey, spiritual master, why on spirits only come to you when you are sad? Then he asked me, spirit die got happy on me? Correct lah.
No, the die happy not here anymore.
Die happy not here already.
Die happy not here.
So if you are alone and you are depressed, the spirit will come to you and go, hey, friend. So maybe they are not there to harm you, but there is still the effect. So, long story short, after you hear all the PSA from all the hosts, this fella cannot influenced by everybody else, you know. Cannot, no. Oh yeah, I tell you what, I feel very sorry for the person. Okay, let's bring it up to the audience. Audience, blue, regardless your reason, blue is, this story is supernatural. Red is, the host on the supernatural is correct. Blue or red?
Red Cara,
I need you
Red
to
Cara.
help me with blue. Blue. Blue,
Wow,
yes.
it's
I see a mixture of
It feels like a tie.
Yes.
Why yours blue and red?
Karina.
Hello.
Hey,
Red lah.
red. Hey, the blue and red obviously agrees with me lah. There is an element of
Hey,
Hantu
how
lah.
come that one blue and red together?
Okay, I see
Blue and red together.
I see
Wow.
say the
Play
hand
both sides.
like Mao Zedong, like, no, like
Sitting
that.
somewhere in the middle.
Like that.
Yeah.
There's another blue and red.
Blue and red. Blue is better
Take the mic,
color.
take the mic. Mark, take the mic. Tell us why you say it's blue.
Quite balanced.
Shane, let's look at the audience.
I'm just saying, Mark, you look very good today, bro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mark Shippo.
Hi.
Hello.
Mark.
This way. All right. Okay. I believe because my grandmother went into depression,
Okay.
and then managed to see all this stuff. And then also, when I went to my friend's place, he took some drugs without me knowing. And then it attracted a lot of all these spirits. And I could actually hear them. He took the drugs, but I didn't. But I managed to hear all these spirits, all the whispering, all around the house. So I do believe it.
You heard it.
Yeah, I heard
You
it.
heard it?
Oh, wow.
And my friend went into a daze.
Okay.
So I was trying to wake him up, but then I hear that. So that's what I believe.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done, well done. Do you have time for one more blue? One more blue. And someone else is like very strong blue. Who's that?
Strong blue.
Jerry
Strong
Hines in the house. Are you blue or red? Or undecided? Black.
Jesus.
Apollonia. Who has blue? Who put up blue just now?
There's a blue there.
Zoe, come on up to the front.
Zoe, come.
Come, tell us. Or pass her the mic,
Yeah.
Is it long enough or not? Oh no, must come.
Yeah.
To the mic. Camera needs to see.
Yeah, the camera needs to see.
Okay.
Well, Zoe's shawl also blue color.
She's ready.
She knows her position already.
Just now also blue. First confession also blue.
Also blue.
Also blue.
Okay, so probably Eugene is the best witness to this. I started tarot reading because I was going through a period of depression. So I was a person of science. I never believed anything of paranormal and supernatural, despite my father being a medium. So I grew up in that environment, but I still chose to not believe it until I went through a period of depression. That's when I started hearing things. And I started being very drawn to tarot reading. And then I started having visions in my dreams that came true as well. So I truly believe that this lady, she attracted negative things when she was going through a period of depression.
Yeah.
Because I've been through that myself. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Wow, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, one more time.
So it's both.
Blue and red,
So
blue and red.
it's
Show me. Blue or red. Final count.
Sorry, it's a red.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Walande, bro. Similar.
Oh no.
Blue.
I know,
Don't change
Okay,
lah.
blue,
Bring
okay.
out red.
I think we have more blue. Wow, suddenly the red all come out.
Ah.
You
Licia,
narrated
come on.
the st-
Red
What's
Cara.
There's more red.
The narrator put
Licia,
up red.
hi.
The more she read, the more rational she becomes.
Okay. It's 9:47. I'm going to do a time check. We've got 2 more confessions, but I just want to check. Shane, do we have time for 2 or 1 more confession? 1 confession seems to be like,
We are never leaving.
I would say 1 confession is almost like half an hour.
Then one.
I still have 2 drinks
1?
to finish. Come on,
1?
guys.
Okay.
3.
No, they have lah. Pontianak at the front. Pontianak at the front, and there's the...
About the
Joe
Okay,
and Sonia can
you
go back
want
with
rush
me.
no,
where
huh?
the shoe move.
Let's talk about like his missing blue card.
Okay,
What happened?
Okay, so the hantu are annoyed that I keep going because my blue card suddenly disappeared.
Ah.
It was under my backside.
Don't look for it, bro. Don't look for it. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's
you're
okay.
good. You're good. John, you're
When did you
good.
take it? When did you take it?
Just now, I think here.
I'll check. You are the hantu. lah.
Okay, move on.
Okay. We got actually 1 more confession, but you know what? We got 2 more confessions. We're going to bring 1 more to Sarawak. We'll bring that to Sarawak, okay?
Okay.
So
Which one?
tonight, I have 1 more. This one, okay, I give you all a choice. Audience, you decide. I have 1 which is told by an ex-police officer. You like men in uniform, is it? I think it's not
Like guy in uniform.
The other one is
YMCA.
about a maid in the house.
Maid in the house. Also uniform, right?
Not that kind of fresh maid lah.
Oh, no, not kind of maid. Sorry. Immediately you say
Okay.
maid.
Policeman
Can I ask a
or
question?
maid? Policeman put blue.
Policeman.
Maid put red.
Maid red, is it? Maid red, is it? Maid red.
Policeman.
Maid red. Policeman blue. Blue. I see a lot of blue.
Wow.
Blue.
Can I ask a
All
question?
blue.
Do you still have the handcuffs?
Why?
Fluffy handcuff.
Like that. No.
If
Wait,
it's
what?
the policeman story, then we're gonna have Mark Pereira to take the mic and give us a live
Mark,
confession.
Do you have the uniform?
Are you asking Mark or are you asking?
Give a 360. Give a 360 to the ladies.
That is a different corpse, ah.
Wow. This one is really.
That one is here to arrest a single mother. Ah.
Yeah.
Is this mic working?
Yeah.
Would you like me to stand up or sit down?
Oh.
So, stand up.
Are those the only
We
two
like you to clothes off actually, but yeah, stand up is fine.
Do whatever you want.
That's
it's
for
okay.
after you come back from Sarawak.
All right.
The
Karina?
police rookie's first case. Shall I start?
Yeah.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
How deep would you like my voice to be?
Very deep.
Very deep.
Very deep. Very
The
sensual,
police
If the panties ain't
rookie's
moist, it ain't
first
working.
Case. This happened about 7 years ago when I just joined the police force. My first case was a call from a concerned neighbor about her boy being possessed and is hurting himself. The place we were going to is well known for having the highest number of drug reported cases in Singapore. So my first thought was that it's likely that the possession is just someone having a really bad trip. We arrived at the scene around 9 p.m. and we could already hear shouts and muffled voices from the lift lobby. Neighbors had gathered outside the home and looking in through the open door and window shutters. On the living room floor, I saw a boy who was pinned down by two men, one older than the other, and a woman was holding on to his legs. A man dressed in white was chanting over the boy. The boy was growling and spitting and cursing in a deep voice. The Ustad demanded the spirits to come out, but the boy just laughed. I turned to my partner and gave him a look. He told me to disperse the crowd first while he went to speak to some of the neighbors. While all these were going on, I kept my eye on the things happening in the house. The boy was sitting up, and the Ustad had his hand on the boy's head and chanting loudly. Suddenly the boy started to shudder and puke. Needles came out. The boy puked needles. My brain was trying to wrap itself around the science behind it. One of the paramedics on the scene and I exchanged glances, and I could tell that we were both looking at the same thing, and I was not making this shit up. The Ustad prayed over a glass of water and fed it to the boy. By now, he was lucid but exhausted. The paramedic checked the boy for seriousness of his injuries, but deemed it unnecessary to escalate and left the scene soon after. Later, I asked the paramedic who I met earlier, "Hey, you sure he's okay?" "This one possessed case like bro, not medical," he replied, shrugged, and left. The needles on the cloth were covered with blood. I poked at the needles with my pen to investigate it. If these came out of the boy's mouth, I had no plausible explanation how he showed no signs of injury. My rational brain suspected the whole exorcism process was hoax to prey on unsuspecting victims. Since this was a domestic issue and there were no complaints or injury to log, we completed the paperwork and the rest of the shift went uneventfully. When I got home, I could not shake the feeling that I was being watched. My cat, who would usually come up to cuddle alongside me, began to avoid me. That was the first sign. Over the next few days, according to my girlfriend and colleagues, I started losing my temper easily. Looking back, I had not much recollection of this time. Things got so bad that I was given time off and access to counseling. I refused any help, and any attempt just riled me up. Eventually, my girlfriend threatened to leave me if I didn't do something about it. I guess that shocked some sense into me. I relented, and I went to meet an Ustad who told me that I had something attached to me. I dismissed it at the time, but because I had promised my girlfriend that I would go through it, I humored him and let him go through the act. When he started chanting the verses from the Quran, I started trembling uncontrollably. I had no recollection what happened, but according to my girlfriend who was present, I started to gnaw at my hand and want to lash out at the Ustad. For my case, I did not puke needles, but instead he instructed me to bathe in blessed water, and I remembered it being extremely hot, even though everyone assured me it was just normal tap water. After that one of prayer, whatever entity that was following me seemed to have left. The Ustad said I was lucky, and the jinn had not gotten into my body. Some people need many sessions for cleansing. Till today, when I think back, I don't recall much that happened during that time. Most of what I'm retelling you is based on what my girlfriend and my colleagues had said. I'm glad that for the last 7 years, I have no more of such encounters.
Thank you, Mark. Also, because we don't have time today, but can we give a big round of applause to Desmond, who's in the house today? Desmond, can you please stand up, Desmond? Desmond, where are you? Okay, Desmond's picture on the narrator's profile, right? Is the black one. You cannot see his face. So today, if you're live here, you can see his face.
Oh, that's Desmond. Oh. Pantene, bro. Pantene.
Oh, Pantene.
Rejoice.
I'm very jealous. Laurie.
So if you want to find out more about Desmond's story, Desmond, we will do a recording. We will be out on 28th of October in Wah. All of us are going to go to Sarawak. That's part 2 of the finale show. Then we're going to take a 2 months break, and then we're going to come back next year. Friday Night Live, as it has been for the last 2 years, will have a massive change.
No,
it will have. Because busy lah. What to do? Then this one, I don't even know whether hantu, not hantu. I'm very confused. Yeah, but I mean, because we always evolve to bring you greater, better, more accurate, take on supernatural. And I think as we mature in our reading, so do you guys, right? Do you feel that as you are listening to us and all that, today you can actually go out there and actually give a talk already, based on confession number 78 episode. Okay, so we have heard Mark. Thank you once again, Mark. Good job.
Mark, thank you.
Okay, so this is about a police cliff notes.
Thank you.
Because I know JDC never do homework.
Yeah, never do homework.
And he was in toilet with me, so he's like, hey, JDC, you toilet? Who's listening? Okay, policeman story. He was a rookie. He went for his first case. First case was about a boy who got possessed. The phone call came in. It was, the boy was hurting himself. So police have to respond. Go to the house. Shit. 2 men pinning him down, woman pinning him down. Neighbors were there. He looked to his partner. Partner said, disperse. He go disperse everybody. They talk to the people. While he's dispersing people, he noticed when the boy was puking, he puked out needles. Okay? We all have heard enough hantu story about cleansing and everything and puking out needles. We also have heard many stories about con jobs where people put needles in eggs. So, true, not true, you guys decide later on. We will discuss it. But what was very interesting was when he went home, after that incident, something seemed to follow him back. He had no recollection. His girlfriend, his colleagues commented so much about his behavior that he was given no pay leave and access to counselor. Now, my take at this point, before everyone goes off the rails, is if this was a hoax, if this was a prank, would it have gone so far for a person to have, in his career and job, go on no pay leave and access to counselor? This is a black mark on someone's professional resume. Of course, at the end of he said, and I know, when the minute I hear this, I say, my co-host will have a field day with this. He says, I don't remember any of this. It was my girlfriend telling me what has happened. No, you see what I say? Okay. Now, ladies in the house, would you prank your boyfriends or your lovers to a level where you make him think he's crazy?
Yes.
No, I take that back. I think most girls would.
There is a saying in Chinese, 女人心海底针. Women's heart is like a needle in the ocean. Very hard to understand, actually. Would they not? We never would know.
No, never. Okay, in my experience, all my exes.
For the ghost bride or the real people?
Real people lah, real people.
Okay.
For my exes, always very, very damn supportive. Even when they leave, always damn supportive lah.
Always what, sorry?
Even when they leave, they're supportive.
Supportive lah.
There's a motive.
Or is a motive?
Bill, you're a great guy. I love you. You're
I
awesome.
heard supportive.
It's
No
not
lah,
you.
not like that
Motive or
lah.
motive?
Not as
Wait,
corny
wait,
as
wait.
that.
Stop.
Wait. Supportive or with motive? Supportive or with motive?
Supportive.
Oh, I thought with motive.
We're like with motive.
Okay. So because this one is on the fence. Okay, before we get any of the hosts to talk, how many of you are on the fence about this? Hantu!
Are we voting?
Drinks on the house for kicking.
No, let's see who isn't Hantu.
Okay, who is not? Who thinks this one is? Before we talk, who thinks for audience not Hantu?
Yeah, 2.
No, you just use the red and blue lah.
Red and blue lah.
Hantu
Okay.
blue.
Hantu blue,
on,
red,
come
not Hantu. Put it up.
Red.
Oh, hantu lah.
Jerry, black don't count.
Red.
Why people not putting the
Red, blue.
More blue.
Put blue down lah, lama.
Red ah.
2, 3. Okay.
Gina, what's this?
Sounds like
Hey,
gaslighting.
over there also
I
red.
think so.
Yeah, gaslighting.
Okay.
Yes.
One
I saw
both,
the red.
one
I saw the
both.
red.
Mark the narrator is putting both blue and red.
Cannot.
basket is like
not
auction, huh?
allowed.
Please explain.
You have to check
Oh,
this down.
red.
Bollock. Okay.
Soul.
Wait, huh? Before we start, we want to give you guys a chance to talk first.
Ooh.
Come, Reds.
Who are the Reds? Show me the Reds again.
There were
Only
reds in
only
front.
Reds.
There, reds. There.
Abba,
Three.
don't
Yeah,
decide.
one
Just
there,
very
one
proudly
there
red.
as well.
Come on.
Very proudly red. Some of you wore red.
Yeah, come on, take red.
Proud. Proud reds, please. Amba.
Because you support
Shane.
Manchester United ah.
Shane, camera please.
Am I working or not?
Yeah.
Mic
So
working.
for my case, the guy is a policeman, right? So he has a PTSD issue, post-traumatic.
Hey, but wait. Rookie leh. Sit down, Botai.
Don't be a traitor.
Hey, Botai, sit down, Botai.
Doesn't matter. No, PTSD doesn't matter. Must be first case, second case. He see the event happen, it'll just affect him.
Yes.
Happens.
Okay.
Thank you, Amba.
Thank you.
Amba.
Thank you.
I like it.
Sweet short.
Yeah.
Woo!
Walao, this brotherhood hugging on that. That's it.
Fourth confession. Move
Next
on.
time, Karina.
Fourth
You see
confession, let's
Amba
go.
name in the sign up list, just ignore. Okay, next time. Next event.
I should trip over those.
Okay, red. Who's red? Jerry. The black man. Come on up.
Where is Jerry?
Jerry's an old friend of mine. He's from Barbados and UK. This guy
Jerry!
is a critic to the Ninth Order. I want to hear what this guy is saying.
I don't see color.
Coming here for what?
Okay, what do you think about this story? Do you agree it's a paranormal or it's something entirely rational?
I would have to see the guy first.
Let's see the policeman
The
first.
policeman
I
or
have
the
to see
kid?
the policeman.
Okay, what? Ask me some questions. I'll pretend to be a policeman.
Has he had any disciplinary problems in the past?
Very good question.
Very good question, yes.
He was a rookie, so let's assume he does not have any prior to joining, and the police will have done enough background research to know that he's clean.
Okay. Is he still with the present girlfriend? Sorry, is he still with the girlfriend that he had that time?
Currently.
Currently now.
Currently.
I do not know.
That one 50-50.
Okay. You need
That
to
one is
talk to her.
50-50.
Talk to her.
Talk to her.
What do you think? What do you think?
As soon as you talk to her,
Yeah.
you will know if the story is true or not.
True.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, I'm British, right? We're very pragmatic.
That's very close to rationalism.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jerry.
It's always the ex-girlfriend.
She wants to dub him, she doesn't know how.
I saw him vomit come out.
One more blue or red?
Nails.
Red or blue?
Gaslighting.
Okay.
Now you
Okay,
say
we
like
want to
that.
hear some, one more red. Who's like pro red?
Red,
Let's
team
three,
red.
let's
Mel,
three,
come on
yeah.
up. Mel, come on up.
Ex-policewoman
Mel
with no
was like,
handcuff.
Yeah, this is the.
she was
This
not
is.
even half-hearted. She was like,
This is the ex-policewoman. Woo! Ex-policewoman.
This is an ex-policewoman.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
it's working.
Okay, so there were a few discrepancies in the stories.
Oh,
Okay, so if
whoa.
has anybody
I
here-
like this already.
has anybody here did NS with SCDF? Anybody with SCDF? Paramedics? Anybody? So if underage child is vomiting needles, that is a danger. That is a threat. the guy cannot just write it off as, oh, it's paranormal, we can't investigate. No,
Yeah.
they will have to write a report. At the very least, the police will investigate to see whether there's any neglect or child abuse at the house. So when that is not any, that is a red flag. That's one. It's just discrepancy. I don't think anybody can look past that. That's one.
Yeah.
That is one. Hot. Okay. So that is just a legal point of view. That is the first part of the story, and I
Press
totally.
Like,
you give me hearts. I don't believe in lies. Give me hearts. Okay, and I totally agree with PTSD as a rookie. Being a rookie myself, seen a lot of terrible things. The first time I went to a scene of crime, I just vomited. I just went to the side, puked everything out. I wasn't myself for the next few weeks, actually. I think that counseling
works.
If you have been sent for counseling, you can't reject it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if your supervisor thinks that, hey, you can't get over this, you send for counseling. If it's mandated by your manager or your boss, you can't. You can't say no. It's mandatory counseling, especially for rookies. That's the other discrepancy. So. To me, I think that it is. Sorry, I know you really want to.
Please do not apologize. Please do not apologize.
I do believe in
too many holes in the
I
story.
believe in the supernatural, just not this story.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mel.
Thank you very much.
Mel, do you have a story to share on your own? As a rookie or as a in your time as a police officer?
I did not encounter anything supernatural. And not as an officer, but when I was younger. So yes.
Well, coming up next on Supernatural Confessions, we have Mel who's going to talk about her China story.
Thank you.
Gonna be one of our feature confession. Please stay tuned. If you have yet to subscribe on our YouTube,
And if you'd like to support us, go to Buy Me a Coffee.
Coffee, please.
Coffee. Buymeacoffee.com /SC. Correct.
Walao. Joe, one more time for the top.
Buymeacoffee.com /SC Friday Live.
Okay. Also, if you want to buy T-shirts, right now we have new T-shirt designs. We have Super Rational. And
Super rational. Say it again. A bit louder.
Super Rational. And we also have the Eye of Providence Ouija board design. Okay, the Super Rational design is the only design that comes in black and white.
Yes.
Because it's black and white.
What's the other designs come in colors?
All our designs come
it's all black.
Just all black.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought they came in blue or something.
Yes. And it pays homage. The white one.
So again, we're going to come to the end of the show. This is going to be our last dissection. Alcohol is going to be what? Karina's our by the way. On sale. So if you guys want to get drinks now, it's a good time. We can probably get Carlos Cole and Shi Min to bring the drinks over for you guys. Just let us know what you want to order, and let us start dissecting this. So we got this. Who? Okay, audience. Who would you like to start first tonight for this final?
Woo! Oh my God, instead of always summarizing.
Mine very short. Mine very short. Well, this story is obviously the hantu. I'll go first. I'll honor that. I'll go first. So when I have personally seen Ustads cleansing people before. Personally seen in a situation where people were possessed and they acted in a way no more than 1 meter in front of me. If you have seen some of the older confessions with the Ustads, I was there filming it. I have also seen how water is room temperature. I think, I don't know where it's here right now, but spiritual masters who do things for people, and I was there to film, and I could not explain it whatsoever. Now, of course, if we are going to go into any confession and trying to shoehorn a logic, we are almost always going to find a reason to explain for a fact. Because supernatural evidence is just way off. It's off the charts. Right? Now, that being said, with this particular story, was I there? I was not. But do I believe the person who told me the story? And don't forget, I am retelling his story from memory. So if I write something that may not be exactly in line with the books, is that his fault, or could that be me missing out a certain point? But I was more concentrated on his experience, the hantu and everything, that I may have not remembered some of the minor details that could be important. Now, people puking out needles, I have seen firsthand. Faking needles, as in people showing me how they fake needles in eggs, also I've seen. How banana having needles, also I've seen. So I've seen both people faking it and people proving it. So if the majority of people who have no personal experience in that scenario, it's very easy to whitewash everything and says, it can be faked. Yes, it can be faked. The question is this scenario fake? Right? There was, in my opinion, no reason that the ustad or the parents or the boy or the police would have needed to fake a story. Would have. But also the police did say, in his mind as he went back, he honestly thought it was a hoax. And many of us here going back tonight, if we see someone picking out a needle, 80% of you will go, before you start to believe, for a fact, right? But what convinced me that this guy actually felt something real was he was a skeptic all along until it happened to him. Even after it happened to him, he was still a skeptic. Could my family, my friends, my girlfriend trying to bullshit me? So when you come from such an angle where you have already discounted everything else and all that remains is the paranormal, then I would have to believe and give this guy the credit that what you have experienced, even if no one believes you, is a supernatural. So that's where I would come from. Is that okay for you? Man, thank you. Okay, thanks, Des. Okay, so who would you like to hear after me?
JDC, go.
Ex-girlfriends have a way of instilling fear of God into you. So that's what I have to say. Actually, you guys really explained it well about the... sorry?
We don't know if it's ex, right?
Ex-girlfriend. Yeah, lah, ex-girlfriends lah. Don't know lah, but it sounds like ex-girlfriend lah, lama. No, but look, again, it's very easy to fake needles coming out. It's easy to fake needles into eggs. So, like, again, nothing overtly paranormal for me. What I would want to see is the police report, the official police report written by the police officers of what happened. What's said by the ex-girlfriend and what's said by him. It could be very, it could be the whole case where it's stories layered upon stories, and suddenly you have a different narrative. I would want to see the official police report. But I get what you say, man. PTSD is something that can, really affect the way people think, affect memory as well. So nothing really paranormal here for me. And you know what? It sounds too cliche. Needles, throwing up with needles sounds too cliche for me. And if you ask Jonathan, that's a cliche thing in horror movies, right? Especially with Asian horror movies. It's either needles in the freaking egg, or they've thrown up needles and they've thrown up hair.
Well, what do you want them to throw up? Banana tree.
So tonight,
if
I walk out tonight and I see a long black hair and a woman in a white dress, I go like, you're not Pontiana lah, you're a cliche.
Oh yeah, that's the best defense.
Exactly.
Don't scare me, you cliche. Don't scare me, cliche.
You are cliche.
Must be the cliche.
Wow, where do you come from, man? Suddenly you're here and suddenly you're over there. Janganlah.
Must be the cliche.
Yeah, must be the cliche.
Okay, so John is going with cliche. Who's next?
Joe lah, alamak.
Sorry, Joe.
Mana John? John di situ.
John. Okay, Joe's going with cliche. Who's next? You guys decide. Call out name.
Okay.
John.
Okay, I'm in two minds about this because I was raised in a church that was very active in possessions or exorcisms. Sorry.
Are you allowed to say which church?
No. I don't think
they know where you live.
They know where I live. So very early on, we were exposed to testimonies, videos, and warnings. So this is the one thing I remember most, right? Which is about who in the brotherhood is allowed to be present at a possession, right? And that is very important, right? And I think it's the same across all faiths that deal with exorcism, right? Who's in the room matters because they have to be protected, right? If you believe that you are dealing with infernal forces, you don't fill the room with rookie cops. You don't let strangers wander in. You don't let people poke at the needle with their pen. All right? So, because I was raised with so much of a reality, it makes this story a little hard to swallow because that Ustaz was not keeping a very clean operating room, right? On one hand. But the other thing that makes me a little suspicious is this rookie cop seems quite gullible. He wants to believe, as was pointed out, the discrepancy there, right? You know, he was, I think, in awe of the Ustaz, of the situation that he was in. He was ready to believe. Even though he says he's a skeptic, he was ready to believe. As soon as he went home, the first thing he felt was, my cat is freaking out on me. Right? To me, that is a man on the verge of paranoia.
Yes, yeah.
You know, if I go home and my cat runs away from me, I don't think ghosts. I think, what's your problem?
But cats are assholes anyway.
Exactly,
You realize,
yeah.
right?
You know, I would not be surprised. But his first reading is that. So I suspect he's not a skeptic. I suspect he was very deeply affected by something. So definitely his experience, no. PTSD, maybe. Girlfriend playing trick, maybe. Right? I don't think he was possessed. I don't think the jinn followed him home. But what I do think is very interesting is that the Ustaz knew exactly how to deal with this. You know, he came over and he treated his belief as real and said, mild case, the jinn didn't get into you, bathe in blessed water, cleanse, right? To me, that's great therapy because this is what I remember now. Hearing this story, I remember one of the things that our pastor shared with us. One of the things about not letting those with weak faith be present at a exorcism, not only because they might be possessed, but because they might get fanciful and imagine they are being possessed.
Wow.
Because with weak faith comes that runaway imagination. You don't have discipline. You see scary things, you go home and everything around you seems scary, and then you call up next day and say, Pastor, the ghost follow me home. The pastor now has to deal with your psychosis.
Placebo effect.
Yes, exactly.
Persuasion, power of suggestion and persuasion.
So weak faith.
You guys don't have to agree, you know?
Huh?
Don't have to agree on this one.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Right,
Wholeheartedly.
yeah. So that's very important. Okay, weak faith means runaway imagination.
Okay. Okay, so we have John, we have Joe. Do we
Hey,
have John?
wrong one lah.
We have Joe.
Adoy.
We have me. We have now
Sonia, Bill.
Kim, and Bill. Pick your choice. Shout on him. Bill,
Right.
go.
Okay, Ken. So,
Ken. Ivan, Bill's over here.
I already finished one. I cannot finish another. Okay, too much. But whoever did not flush in the bathroom, you are the supernatural one. You are the hantu. I cannot explain it any other way. My God.
Have you got PTSD now?
I may have mild PTSD from that.
Get it? PTSD?
Yeah.
My man.
So, my take on the story is that, honestly, yes, it's a little bit cliche. Oh, sorry. Yes, it is a little bit cliche. I feel the needles coming out of the underage boy is a little bit like, hey, what's going on here? The paramedic showing up as fast as he could, as fast as they did. That never happens. That never happens.
They're paramedics.
In Singapore.
No, cannot.
Singapore is not bad. Yeah. But for him to leave so fast.
From my own experience, from having a paramedic come to me in Singapore, it took them 30 minutes to take to me. 30 minutes in CBD. SCDF.
Was that the?
Yeah.
She's gonna make a case.
I cannot.
Make a case.
Debunk.
Was
Bill debunk.
It's about 4 months. It was 4 months ago. Yeah, 4 months ago.
Make
Yeah,
complaint.
CBD.
Yeah.
So
Was this the
Go to official
stripper
complaints.
dressed as a paramedic?
no, no. This was an actual case where I needed a paramedic and I needed help, and it took them half an hour to get there.
That's bad.
Exactly.
That's bad.
So
Sue the
from that point on, I'm just like, hey, paramedic on the scene, that amount of time cannot be. Cannot be. I put the card down on that. Cannot be.
Okay.
Also, I do not believe that if a young child just threw up a pile of syringes, that you would just leave them there unattended, and for some other druggie to go like, hey, I booked this, I want to makan this, I want to reuse this, please. Thank you very much. These are for harder drugs, thank you.
Don't waste my needle.
So, reuse, reduce, recycle. There you go.
Needle, I thought paku bukan macam syringe lah.
Paku lah, needle lah.
Even
Yeah.
Your mother saw the thread on that, the needle. That's why he thinks syringe. He thinks nail. Oh, woman, can you tell them what needle is?
Is that a sexist thing to say? Just because I'm a woman, I would know what a needle is for.
But you
Men
said
don't know how to
it's
sew. Ah.
disgusting, man.
It's for a syringe. It's a
My fathers
syringe.
cannot sew lah.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's a syringe for like injected drugs or you know whatever.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah.
wrap it up. What's it? Tell us.
So I think it's a bit of a mass hypnosis scenario where it's
Mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
no,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
a very on the fringe.
very on the
answer.
fringe.
no
very on the
hypnosis.
fringe.
Hypnosis. I
Mass
choose my words
hypnosis is
very
Which is
carefully.
quite a
It's hypnosis.
rational way of looking at things, huh?
No.
Yes,
I see where you're going with this.
yes,
No.
yes.
Hey, don't
Completely
interrupt me.
non-hantu.
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me.
Okay.
So because the what was the person's name?
Drink some more.
The clerical person.
Ustaz.
The Ustas.
Yeah.
The Ustas came in and performed the show in such a rehearsed manner. I think it was a case of mass hypnosis because when you are on substances or you are in an area where a lot of substances have been taken and you are in that space, you are more susceptible to a lot of different outside influences. So this Ustas came in, performed the deed, he saw it, he poked at it, he shouldn't have, and it in the back of his consciousness, it prodded at him until it manifested itself as these urges. So I cannot doubt the girlfriend from all the workplace for saying like, hey, you need help, you need psychological help. I will leave you, or you will lose me. That might be true, but the main cause of it is an explainable thing.
I see.
Eugene, why your face like that?
That's why.
I mean,
Why your face
ladies
like
and gentlemen, tonight's the last night you see Bill and John on the show, so just give them an applause.
What?
Yeah. Thank you for the comment. We'll see you in 2024. So, okay. So we have heard a lot of rational explanation tonight, but the one last hope I have, the man who tells you about.
There's more rationality to come.
Yes.
Yes,
shit.
Sonia hasn't spoken.
Knock it out of the park.
We have Team Rational, represented by Sonia Khurana, or the man who gives you know your hantu, Kimi, Kuku Bird from Kuching.
Choose.
Kim or Sonia first?
Yeah.
Go.
Rational.
Come to our side. Sonia, come to our side.
I just want to talk about the practices. There seems to be a tug of war, a physical tug of war. I want to talk about the practices. These practices are still happening now. The telo, where they put needles in, that's still happening now. I've never seen. I've never seen it with my own eyes. I've heard enough about it. The law of it, John. We've watched enough movies to back this up. A lot of it still exists for the simple reason that we want to believe. We're all here because there is a common belief, right? When it comes to a child vomiting, I teach children it would be super scary. And I'm completely with you about the SOPs of how we deal with it. How did this child get access to all these needles? Is it possible he chanced upon his mother's sewing box and decided, you know what, this looks fun to swallow, and do that? We can't deny the possibility of it. Yeah. Pregnant moms eat clay. And all sorts of other things. So could this child have come upon something, swallowed it, and then vomited out? Things we don't explain, we always attribute to the supernatural because we don't understand it. We can't explain it with science. We can't explain it with the rational. So what do? We park it under the supernatural. Was this such a case? Right? I'm actually quite on the fence with this one. I'm actually quite on the fence with this one.
Wow.
I know enough about these practices to say, there's susok even, when people insert needles into their faces to look more attractive to the opposite sex. I'm going to have to hold on to this. To say that such practices do exist with needles, and that's why this story was very interesting to me. And then the rational side of me says it could have easily been a child that decided, I'm going to be curious about it and swallow it. So I think I'm going to sit on the fence for this one.
Adoy. Pick a side lah. You got so many evidence. You got him coming back home. You got a girlfriend saying something.
With the girlfriend, I believe in gaslighting. She could have said all sorts of things to make this guy believe. And if he's not in quite a conscious state of mind, yes.
Yeah.
But do it. Wow.
No lah, cannot be lah.
Wow, hard pain lah.
90% of every man
quite
does
leaning
not
towards
need
that.
counseling.
Yes.
From all the abuse and the mental torture that men gave them, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know enough about this story, and then women do gaslight. I've heard enough stories about that.
I'm going to tell you guys one more point.
Is there a
about
bit of
this.
information that you're keeping from us?
This place happened in
The story.
this story, right?
This place.
Incident happened at Circuit Road.
At where?
Circuit Road.
What I didn't put into the confession, which I edited out, was it says there's Supernatural Confessions founded. What's the place? Spooner Road, right?
Spooner Road.
Supernatural Confessions founded Spooner Road as the most haunted estate in Singapore. What Supernatural Confessions have not found and documented all the evidences and confessions is stories from Circuit Road. People in Circuit Road who lives in Circuit Road do not talk about Circuit Road.
There must be some sort of a vortex there, is it? Yeah.
Because
some sort of
people there in the area of Circuit Road, because Circuit Road is round, right? Is that estate there? No, I don't know which part she mentioned. They mentioned some of the spots, but the Circuit Road estate have people dealing with drugs, have dealing with a lot of black magic.
That was the other thing. Bill, when you said syringes, I thought of that too. Drug abuse.
Yeah.
Are there syringes, needles lying around in a very unsafe environment for children?
That is nonsense. How can a syringe get vomited out?
Exactly,
and
that's
hit
my
the thing?
point.
It must be the hantu. Sarah. No lah, he very lonely lah. Sitting there, almost going to cry.
Yeah, 2023.
Pity support doesn't count.
Sonia, right?
Pity support don't count. The
Sonia,
P in the PTSD is not pity. Not PT. PTSD. Is it?
PTSD. P as in the bathroom over there. Okay, can.
2 Halloweens ago, I did a show where my performer pulled a nail out of an actor's mouth in front of the audience. And the audience was at possession distance, okay? They were seated around the body. And the actor playing the bomo pulled a 6-inch nail out of the girl's mouth. All we needed was an illusionist to help us.
Illusionist.
Yes.
How did
Those
that
are keywords here. Illusionist.
Yeah. So, bunch of small needles, not hard.
No.
Really
there
not hard.
you go.
Yeah.
You don't He is just disproving your story.
Chris, you see, I was like,
this rookie.
How?
He's saying that
the rookie only got near to the nails afterwards.
I've
He
been
went to
fooled by this guy. I've
Just
hosted
saying,
you for
right?
5 seasons, you know.
Just saying, right?
John,
Someone he get
I told John, no, I said, John.
You
I've been on
just
the
come
show,
over la,
No, I said, I
rational
bring John over to the
la.
show. He said, yeah, don't worry. I know all about the hantu. John writes a book about hantu, by the way, guys. Do you know that?
Yeah.
He writes a book. He's an author as well. What's
I
it called?
want to believe.
What's it called? Ghosts and Men, is it?
Between Gods and Ghosts.
I'm just curious.
John is the writer for Between Gods and Ghosts. And he tells me, yeah, I know all about the hantu. I believe the hantu. And today, come here. Put me under
He's
the bus.
also just telling you it is so easy to act it out.
That's it, man. Okay, next year, 2023, we're going to have KK Heng on the show. Mark on the show.
Yeah lah. Where's your story with the Jeep?
Anyway. Okay, so we are running out of time. It's 10:30 right now. Thank you so much for coming down.
We haven't heard from Kim.
Yeah, okay, last
Okay, last one. Kim, last one.
Okay,
Come on,
I
Kim.
just want to quickly check. Mr. Murali is still here, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Murali?
Where are you?
Are you
Murali.
still
He
here?
was at the back.
Mr. Murali.
Left
I
already.
saw him. Oh.
Maybe.
there
Oh,
he
since
is.
it's coming.
Yeah, that is coming in.
Ah, Mr.
Oh,
Murali.
Mr. Murali.
Murali.
Mr. Murali, can you come to the microphone quickly? We just have a question to check
Murali,
with you.
here.
Front,
Here,
help,
here.
help,
Yeah.
Come, answer.
Okay. So expert.
Yeah.
Save the hantu, guys.
Yeah,
Save the hantu.
this is expert. Mr. Murali, can you quickly explain it with us why black magic or magic like this is very closely tied up with needles, vomiting needles and eggs and
Yeah,
things
why-
like this.
why
Can you tell us?
needles? Q needles.
Yeah, it's already on. It's on.
Okay, first of all, I'm an ex-policeman for 14 years.
Hui.
No.
I'm also a spiritual master. Yes.
Thank you for your service.
So, your question is why needles?
Yeah.
Okay, anything that is harmful that can be used on someone, that is occult tools that are usually practiced. Needles, bones, sharp
Nails.
objects, nails and everything. Because all these things, we are able to create certain form of energy into it to install life that can actually multiply itself. So that is why in occult practices there are certain objects that are being used for this.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murali.
Thank you.
Okay, this one, for me, I'm grateful because Mr. Murali is here to explain it, right? So that's why when you say it's very cliche, why is always needles? Why is always nails? Mr. Murali will explain it to you.
Yes.
If black magic had fucking put a machine gun in your mouth, probably you would vomit machine gun as well, because that would hurt you as well, right? But this thing had been going on for centuries.
Correct.
Needles, nails, and things that can harm you. I mean, you cannot say it cliche, and what do you expect out of it? It's like, especially when you do black magic, right? Why do you use kemenyan? What do you expect? Lavender oil? Cannot, man. You cannot call this cliche because these magic practices have been going on for centuries, man. Yeah, because it works, right? Or else, if lavender oil worked centuries ago, it would have been lavender oil.
Your Honor, I moved to strike because he used someone else to explain something else.
This is when you know your people.
Outstanding.
No, I think that concludes it because we already got Mr. Murali to explain it to us and debunk the
Sorry,
Why?
hello?
Why needles
the
and
cliche
why
part.
sharp?
Cliche
Yeah.
part.
Sorry, hello?
No, but
We. I ordered cake lah.
We're all hungry.
discrepancy.
Okay, wait, got discrepancy.
Death
Okay.
and destruction.
Okay. John got the discrepancy. What is it?
Okay, no, I totally agree, right? The frequency of nails, right? And very much because they have a strong life force, right? Semangat is very high in iron, right? And in a similar way to Western possessions, there's a purging, right? When the person is possessed, they purge the things that are positive. So the semangat is being vomited out of them. Problem is, according to the same ustaz, I don't know if it's the same ustaz that he consulted, but the second ustaz said it's a jinn. Different. Jinn not afraid of the semangat. So the nails and the jinn are not the same law. So I'm not sure. There, I'm not sure.
You're moving towards vibrational energy already.
Could be a connection. You know. But for me, it's a very clear mismatched logic lah, right? Because the jinn is far more powerful to be scared of your nails.
Okay, if we're talking about logic, right? On the fringe, we talked about vampires. And we talked about like how if you're talking about the European vampires, right, the wooden stake, which is maybe about like 13 inches long,
Yeah.
about like on average, right, and it's about maybe okay but why are we not seeing stakes being vomited out if we're talking about the semangat and like all these things, right?
Wood doesn't have the same. It's
Yeah.
a different logic here.
Because
It's a different logic here.
I find it like okay, if we're talking about possessions, right, and if we're talking about nails is a fairly universal thing, right? Stakes, because of popular culture, is also a fairly universal thing.
It's pretty much like we prefer rice, they prefer mashed potatoes.
Yeah, kind of that thing,
cultural
right?
It's just different place.
Like,
Just different place.
So it's like, why syringes? Out of all the things.
Cross Circuit Road.
No.
It's not going to stop the strangers.
We take away the circuit roads, right? Okay. So we take away like the drug use and we take away all this, right? It's like we take away, we put it back to the spiritual thing, right? It's like okay, so why syringes out of all things to be vomited out of this person, this underage person? It doesn't hold any like spiritual significance. It doesn't hold any like life-giving significance.
I think that we give power to the things that we believe in, and if that's what we're exposed to culturally, then that's what we're going to give power to, those beliefs. And I find it very hard to imagine somebody vomiting a steak, actually, unless it's a steak that you eat, like a raw steak, versus an actual steak that you stab into a vampire's heart, with the size difference and all
But
that.
the steak is just like used as a metaphor to just state like, okay, it's kind of like weird to say like a syringe. A syringe.
Okay, but going back to the steak, for example, right? If you analyze vampire history, right, there is no record of stakes being used on a active mobile vampire. Stakes have only been found in corpses to stop them from becoming vampires. And then the cinematic imagination goes, oh, then if you see a live one, that should work too. No, it's the same as you put 2 eggs under her arm so she doesn't become Pontianak. Doesn't mean when you see a Pontianak, you throw her 2 eggs. It's not going to save you.
In that same logic, right? In that same logic, right?
Sorry, I say her name.
In
that same logic, right?
Very quickly.
All this talk of eating is making me hungry,
Yeah,
Joe.
we ordered some cake.
Yes.
So I think it's important that we all.
What madness is this? Why we are doing show and ordering cake at the same time? That we celebrate the birthday of Mr. Kim Then, 31st of October.
Birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
What we didn't tell you is next week, Halloween is our man from Kuching birthday. So we wanted to give him a bit of surprise today.
And we got the most manly cake that we could find.
Everybody,
very beautiful.
Sayang, My Little Pony, really? I wish everybody has a better life.
Kim, how old? How old? Kim, how old?
30. This one I don't know. 30.
Also, I want to announce the winners for tonight for tarot reading. Zoe, you got to take note of this one. The 3 winners for tonight is Adrian. Where's Adrian?
Adrian!
Is that Adrian Elation Tan? We also have Mel. Where's Mel? Policewoman Mel. Where's my little mermaid? Ariel. Okay, so she don't get a prize. Too bad. For Nocturne Noir, we're going to give it to you right now. Come on up. We have KK Heng. Take it from John. We have Ong Hock Ping. Ong Hock Ping. We got one more name. Karina, we got one more name. Karina, one more name. We got 3 names. Ong Hok Ping is one person. Oh, okay. So sorry. We got audio posters. We got 2. Posters is we have Mark Pereira. Keep this. Gonna be worth on Amazon someday or eBay.
Yeah. And the back got signature lah.
All our autographs at the back. We have Joshika. Who's Joshika? Joshika. And the last winner for Nocturne Noir is... Thank you, Joshika. Last winner for Nocturne Noir is... Desmond! Okay, he's got his mind. Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming down to our very first official Friday Night live show, and also the season finale. Next year, we're going to be doing something different. Whatever that you've seen the last 2 years, I don't know if it's going to be the same. Kim, we have not talked about this, but what's your plan next year?
Talk about offline, then we'll announce it online.
Sure. But you guys have been a very crucial part of our lives. We would not be here today if not for you guys and you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been very, very fortunate to have a wonderful team. That's Desmond. So you went to shampoo his hair just now.
Desmond.
He wants to buy the full
little.
700 Yeah. So next year, we invite you guys to join us in a discussion. We want to hear you guys to know what we can do better. Whether we should, obviously, kick like Bill and John off the show for being too rational and yeah. No, I'm just kidding, because the show is all about having your voices being heard. We just want to know what to do better next year. Whether our merchandise is something that you like, whether you think it's nicely designed. If you say it's not nicely designed, I won't be upset. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much. And this would be the second last episode next week. Please join us live. Those of you not coming on with us to Sarawak, 28, 10 p.m. We'll be filming from 7, but 10 p.m. we'll be running the live show, and then we'll be joining you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
As always, we're going to end off the show with our one-liners.
If you want the cake, please meet us afterwards, and we'll.
Yes. No, you have to stay.
Yeah,
There's
do
so
not
much
eat
cake.
the one on the right-hand
Yes.
side, because Kim already took
a
bite out of it.
Yes.
I wouldn't touch it.
Hello, it's my cake lah. I want to buy lah.
Cannot lah, bro. You gotta
You're not
wait
eating the
lah.
whole thing, what?
If you want to eat the whole cake, you eat the whole cake.
I'll cut the rest.
But as I always say, there are more questions than there are.
Do it in Shifu's voice.
Shifu's voice. Shifu say, more question, more answer.
High
That
level. Yeah, and I'm Sonia. Thanks for coming down, guys. We'll see you outside later.
Do your proper one. No, thanks for coming down, guys. Do your proper one.
What?
Proper one-liner.
There usually is a super rational explanation for most things.
Voice slow down some more.
Bill, go ahead.
All right, this is Bill from On The Frige, and the truth is always out there, so catch us!
All right, let's go with John.
Next time you think that the hantu is haunting you, remember, you haunted them first.
Oh!
So the hantu side,
High level.
All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. All the way from Kuching, Sarawak, I feel the love from Singapore. Really, I appreciate it. I'm Kim signing off with, especially those that is here. Yeah, I'm gonna deliver the joke after we end the stream. So those, so those not here, I'm sorry lah. Huh?
Too bad.
Kim signing off with whatever you don't see doesn't mean it is not there.
Thank you very much to Nocturne Noir tonight for getting us all sloshed and half fucked. Audio Technica for the beautiful sound that you have us tonight. Music Elements, of course, with Shane for making all this possible.
Go Shane!
Our very special guest narrators, Mark, Desmond, Licia, Timo, Tarot Card Reader, Zoe. We have Cy Wilson, we have Jerry Hines, of course, Timo from tonight giving us... Oh, we have one more. Alvin, we have a message from... Play it.
Yeah. Hit it.
This guy's not prepared, lah.
Ayo.
To drag him somewhere.
There is.
Funny.
There is.
Postage stamp size.
7-Eleven uniform.
Wow, DHL quite good lah.
Hey,
sound. The soundware.
What's wrong with Matt? Why does he look so weird?
Surprise, it's me. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't be there today to hang out with you guys. It'd be really nice
It
for me
would.
to be there. It's just that, it kind of overlapped with my friend's wedding. So I'm here, I'm out of Singapore, I'm in Penang. And even though I can't be there physically, I'm here through video. But I do want to mention something about one of the confessions. The first confession of today. I saw the question that he asked me, for what's the word? For advice. And I can only say, in this case, everything that you mentioned, I believe that there is something going on, and I think there's a lot of things that we need to address in that.
It's too late.
But to
Team
address the
Rational won
question
already.
specifically, because I don't think I have much time, what should you do? I think you should probably contact some spiritual healer, someone who knows better than most of us do. Reach out to him. I think at the end of the day, the decision has to be your own to see if you want to continue that or not, because it's just not something to trifle with, and having the better advice is way better. Sorry I gotta cut this short, but yes, I will see you guys soon in the next live event, and yeah, hope you guys have a fun night.
Sounds
Bye.
rational to me.
Very dedicated team. That is Matt Vekak from On The Fringe. Also with Shi Min, bartenders for tonight. Daniel Carlos Cole on the back right there. And of course, not forgetting, none of the stream would fucking happen if not for Shane and Alvin De Cruz. My name is Eugene Tay. Good night. We'll see you guys next week from Sarawak. And then 2023.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Shane, are we playing the end credits so that... yeah, end credit. For the people at home, so for people at home. All right, guys, it's a wrap.
It is a wrap.
Thank you.
Must stand up.